Rochelle Johnson's vision blurred as she stumbled through the apartment door at 2:47 a.m. Her feet screamed in pain, swollen from standing for 16 hours straight. The baby blue waitress uniform clung to her back, soaked with sweat and the smell of grease from the diner. Her hands trembled as she tried to unlock the door, the keys slipping twice before she managed to turn the lock. The apartment was freezing. The heat had been cut off 3 days ago. She made it 2 steps inside before her legs gave out. Rochelle collapsed onto the worn carpet, too exhausted to even cry. Her body had finally given up. Through the thin walls, she could hear her neighbor's television, some late-night show with canned laughter that mocked her misery. In the tiny bedroom, her 6-year-old daughter Amara slept under every blanket they owned, her breath visible in the cold air. This was rock bottom. 3 jobs. 90-hour weeks. And still, the eviction notice sat on the counter, bright pink and impossible to ignore. 5 days. They had 5 days to come up with $2,000 or they would be on the street. Rochelle pressed her forehead against the dirty carpet and finally let the tears come. She had no family to call. No friends who weren't struggling just as hard. No safety net. No options. Just a beautiful, brilliant little girl who deserved so much more than this nightmare, and a mother who was failing her. The worst part was not the hunger, the cold, or the exhaustion. The worst part was watching Amara pretend not to notice. The way her daughter smiled every morning and said, "Good morning, Mama," like they lived in a palace instead of a falling-apart one-bedroom with cockroaches and broken windows. The way Amara never asked for toys or treats, never complained about wearing the same 3 outfits to school, never mentioned that other kids had lunch boxes with food inside instead of empty containers to hide their poverty. Tomorrow morning, Rochelle would have to wake up at 5 a.m. for her cleaning shift at the office building downtown. Then the lunch shift at the diner. Then the evening shift at the grocery store. And the day after that. And the day after that. Until her body broke completely, or until they ended up homeless, whichever came first. Rochelle pulled herself up and crawled to Amara's bedroom door. She watched her daughter sleep, her beautiful brown skin peaceful in the dim light from the street lamp outside. Amara clutched a stuffed rabbit she'd had since she was a baby, its fur worn bald in spots from so much love. "I'm sorry, baby," Rochelle whispered. "I'm so sorry I can't do better." She didn't know that in exactly 7 hours, Amara would wave at a silver car on their walk to school. She didn't know that inside that car sat a man who would notice. She didn't know that one small gesture of childhood innocence would set in motion a chain of events that would change everything. She didn't know that hope was coming. She only knew the crushing weight of right now. Before we continue with Amara's story, I have to ask you something. Have you ever felt completely out of options? Like no matter how hard you work, you just can't get ahead? Have you ever watched someone you love struggle and felt powerless to help? If Rochelle's story touches your heart, please subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments. Have you or someone you know ever been in a situation like this? Your story matters, and this community is here to support each other. Now, let's see what happens when Amara waves at that silver car. The morning sun cut through the gray clouds as Rochelle held Amara's small hand, walking the 6 blocks to Jefferson Elementary School. Amara wore her red jacket, the one Rochelle had found at the thrift store last winter. It was too big, the sleeves hanging past her fingertips, but it was warm and bright and Amara loved it. "Mama, look at that pretty car," Amara said, pointing at a sleek silver vehicle that glided past them like something from a dream. The car was beautiful, all smooth lines and tinted windows. It looked like it cost more than Rochelle would make in 10 years. Maybe 20. As it passed, Amara lifted her little hand and waved, her face breaking into the brightest smile. Rochelle felt her heart crack a little. Her daughter found joy in the smallest things. A pretty car. A blue sky between the clouds. A penny on the sidewalk. While Rochelle's world crumbled around them, Amara still believed in beauty and goodness. "Come on, sweetie. We can't be late." Rochelle tugged gently on Amara's hand. Inside the silver car, Nathan Pierce glanced in his rearview mirror. He'd seen the little girl in the red jacket wave at him. Something about that innocent gesture made him smile for the first time in weeks. His life was board meetings and profit margins, stress and decisions that affected thousands of employees. When had he last noticed something simple and pure like a child's wave? "Take this route every morning from now on," Nathan told his driver, Marcus Thompson. Marcus nodded, confused but obedient. "Yes, sir." Nathan looked back once more, but the little girl and her mother had already turned the corner. He felt a strange pull in his chest, something he couldn't name. Then his phone buzzed with another urgent message and the moment passed. That evening Rochelle worked her shift at Bernie's Diner, her feet aching as she carried heavy trays of food to customers who rarely tipped more than $1. Her supervisor, Rita, was in a bad mood, snapping at everyone and threatening to dock pay for the smallest mistakes. "Table 7 needs refills," Rita barked. "Move faster, Rochelle. You're not the only waitress here." Rochelle bit back a response and hurried to table 7 with the coffee pot. The customers, a middle-aged couple, didn't even look up from their phones as she poured. "No please. No thank you." She was invisible to them, just a uniform and a service. By the time her shift ended at 9 p.m., Rochelle's back throbbed with pain. She still had to get to the grocery store for the night stocking shift that ran until 2 a.m. Sleep was a luxury she couldn't afford. The next morning came too soon. Rochelle dragged herself out of bed at 5 a.m., got Amara ready for school, and started the walk again. Her daughter chattered happily about a drawing she'd made in class, something with flowers and butterflies. "And then Mrs. Patterson said mine was the most colorful one," Amara said proudly. "That's wonderful, baby." Rochelle tried to sound enthusiastic, but exhaustion weighed down every word. As they walked past the same intersection, the silver car appeared again. Amara's face lit up. "It's the pretty car, Mama?" She waved again, this time with both hands bouncing on her toes. Inside the car, Nathan saw her immediately. The little girl in the red jacket, waving like he was a parade float. He found himself waving back, even though he knew she probably couldn't see through the tinted windows. "Who's the kid?" Marcus asked. "I don't know," Nathan admitted. "Just a little girl who waves." "That's nice," Marcus said. "Innocent." Nathan nodded. There was something about that daily wave that felt important, though he couldn't explain why. He'd built a tech company worth billions, revolutionized data security systems, sat on boards and advised governments. But a child's wave felt more real than any of it. This became their routine. Every morning Amara waved. Every morning Nathan looked for her. He started timing his commute to make sure he'd pass that corner at exactly 7:35 a.m. It became the best part of his day. After 2 weeks, Nathan's curiosity got the better of him. He asked Marcus to slow down one morning so he could get a better look. The woman with the little girl looked young, maybe late 20s, with kind eyes and a worried expression. She wore a blue diner uniform under her coat. Her shoes were worn down at the heels. "Find out about them," Nathan told his assistant, Jennifer Wu, later that day. Discreetly. "I want to know their situation." Jennifer raised an eyebrow but didn't question him. By the next afternoon she had a full report on his desk. Rochelle Johnson, age 28. Single mother. Works 3 jobs. Behind on rent. Daughter Amara Johnson, age 6, attends Jefferson Elementary. Honor roll student despite missing school occasionally when childcare falls through. No family support system. No criminal record. By all accounts, a hard-working woman trying to survive. Nathan read the report twice, his chest tightening with each detail. This woman was drowning, working herself to death, and still managing to raise a daughter who waved at strangers with pure joy. He'd been wealthy for so long that he'd forgotten what struggle looked like up close. His own daughter, Sophie, was 10 and went to an elite private school where tuition cost more than most people's annual salary. She had everything she needed and most of what she wanted. She was also lonely despite all the privilege, missing her mother who died 3 years ago from cancer. Nathan had thrown himself into work after his wife Claire's death. Work was something he could control, something with clear problems and solutions. Grief was messy and overwhelming, so he avoided it by staying busy. But seeing this little girl wave every morning reminded him that life was happening outside his bubble of wealth and work. Real life, with real struggles and real people trying their best. "What do you want to do with this information?" Jennifer asked carefully. Nathan stared at the report. "I'm not sure yet. But I want to help." "Sir, you can't just hand people money. Comes off wrong. Charity can be insulting." "I know." Nathan tapped his fingers on the desk. "So we find another way. A way that gives her dignity and opportunity, not just a handout." Jennifer smiled slightly. "You're a good man, Mr. Pierce." "I'm a lucky man," Nathan corrected. "And luck should be shared." That night, Rochelle came home at 2:30 a.m. to find another notice on her door. This one was read. Final warning. 3 days to pay or face eviction proceedings. She sat on the floor of her cold apartment and cried silently, her hand pressed over her mouth so Amara wouldn't hear. 3 days. She had 3 days to find money she didn't have. She'd already borrowed from everyone she knew. The food bank was out of supplies. The church aid program had a 6-month waiting list. There was nowhere left to turn. Rochelle pulled out her phone and looked at job listings, even though she already worked every available hour. Nothing paid enough. Nothing would save them in 3 days. She thought about Amara's face that morning, waving at that beautiful car, believing the world was good and full of wonder. How long until that light went out? How long until poverty crushed her daughter's spirit the way it was crushing hers? Please, Rochelle whispered to no one, to God, to the universe, to anyone who might listen. Please help us. I can't do this alone anymore. The next morning, Amara waved at the silver car as usual. Inside, Nathan waved back, his mind already working on a plan. He'd built a company from nothing. He'd solved impossible problems. Surely he could find a way to help one woman and her daughter without making them feel like charity cases. Marcus, find out what school that little girl attends. Jefferson Elementary, Marcus answered immediately. I already checked. Nathan smiled. Good. Then let's start there. Nathan Pierce stood in his corner office overlooking the city, watching rain streak down the windows. Below, people rushed through their lives, tiny figures with their own struggles and dreams. Somewhere down there, Rochelle Johnson was working herself to exhaustion. Jennifer, come in here, he called to his assistant. Jennifer entered with her tablet, always prepared. She'd worked for Nathan for 5 years and understood him better than most people. What do you need? I want to start a scholarship program through Pierce Technologies. Focus it on Jefferson Elementary and the surrounding schools in that district. Full ride, kindergarten through college, for students who show academic promise but come from financially struggling families. Jennifer's eyes widened. That's a big undertaking. I know. Make it happen. And I want the first recipient to be Amara Johnson. The little girl who waves at you? Yes. Nathan turned from the window. But here's the important part. Her mother can't know I specifically chose them. It has to look random, merit-based. Lottery. Whatever makes sense. I don't want gratitude or obligation. I want them to have a fair shot. Jennifer made notes on her tablet. Okay. What else? We're expanding. I want to create a new management position, something in operations or project coordination. Then I want to interview candidates from non-traditional backgrounds. People who've proven themselves through hard work but didn't have access to formal business education. You want to hire the mother. I want to give her an opportunity to interview. If she's qualified, yes. If not, we find something else she can do. But Jennifer, this woman works 3 jobs and keeps her kid in school with good grades. That shows more management ability than any MBA. Jennifer smiled. You're doing a good thing. I'm doing what should have been done already. Nathan sat at his desk. Get me the principal of Jefferson Elementary on the phone. Let's make this happen fast. Within 2 days, Nathan had donated $5 million to establish the Pierce Education Foundation. The foundation would provide full scholarships to 20 students from Jefferson Elementary and neighboring schools, selected by a committee of teachers and counselors based on academic merit and financial need. Amara's name went to the top of the list. Meanwhile, Rochelle was having the worst week of her life. She'd gone to the landlord's office to beg for an extension on the eviction. Mr. Kozlov, a hard man with cold eyes, had laughed at her. You and everyone else, he'd said. Pay or leave. Simple business. Please, I have a little girl. Just 2 more weeks and I can get the money together. 2 weeks, 2 months, doesn't matter. You can't pay. Out. He'd literally shoot her out of his office like a stray dog. Rochelle had walked back to her apartment in a daze. She had 1 day left. Tomorrow the sheriff would come with an eviction order. Tomorrow she and Amara would be homeless. That night, she held Amara close as they lay in bed together, sharing warmth. Mama, why are you sad? Amara asked, her small hand touching Rochelle's cheek. I'm not sad, baby. Just tired. Is it because of the papers on the door? Rochelle's heart sank. You saw those. The red one. Does it mean we have to move? Maybe, sweetie. But wherever we go, we'll be together. That's what matters. Amara was quiet for a moment. Will I still go to school? Yes, I promise. No matter what happens, you'll go to school. It was a promise Rochelle had no idea how to keep, but she'd die trying. The next morning, Wednesday, Rochelle walked Amara to school with dread sitting heavy in her stomach. When they got home this afternoon, the eviction notice would be final. She'd already packed their few belongings in garbage bags, preparing for the inevitable. Amara waved at the silver car as it passed. This time, Rochelle noticed the car slow down slightly as if the driver was looking back. It was a ridiculous thought. Why would someone in a car like that care about them? At Jefferson Elementary, Principal Andrea Hughes called Rochelle aside as she was dropping Amara off. Mrs. Johnson, do you have a moment? Rochelle's stomach dropped. What now? Was Amara in trouble? Yes, of course. They went to the principal's office, a small room with children's artwork on the walls. Principal Hughes smiled warmly. I have incredible news. Amara has been selected as one of the first recipients of a new scholarship program. The Pierce Education Foundation. It covers everything from now through college. Books, supplies, tutoring if needed, even field trips and extracurricular activities. Rochelle stared at her, unable to process the words. What? I don't understand. A local tech company established a scholarship fund for students in our district. Amara was chosen based on her academic performance and teacher recommendations. This is completely free. No strings attached. But I didn't apply for anything. You didn't have to. The foundation worked with our staff to identify deserving students. Rochelle, this is real. This is going to change Amara's life. Rochelle felt tears spilling down her cheeks. I can't believe this. Believe it. Principal Hughes handed her a folder with all the details. There's more. The foundation also partners with several companies for job placement programs for parents. I've taken the liberty of forwarding your name to one of them. Pierce Technologies is hiring for several positions, and they specifically want to interview people who've demonstrated strong work ethic and dedication. Pierce Technologies? The big building downtown? Yes. They'll be calling you for an interview. Please answer when they do. Principal Hughes reached across the desk and squeezed Rochelle's hand. Good things are coming. You've worked so hard. You deserve this. Rochelle left the office in shock, clutching the folder like a life raft. A scholarship. An interview. It felt like a dream, like something that happened to other people, not to women who were about to be evicted. She called in sick to her diner shift, the first time she'd missed work in over a year. She needed to think. She needed to process this miracle that had appeared out of nowhere. That afternoon her phone rang. Unknown number. Hello. Is this Rochelle Johnson? This is Jennifer Wu from Pierce Technologies. We'd like to schedule an interview with you for a project coordinator position. Would you be available tomorrow morning at 10? Rochelle's heart raced. Yes. Yes, I'll be there. Excellent. I'll send you the address and details via email. We look forward to meeting you. After the call ended, Rochelle sat on her worn couch and cried. Not the desperate, hopeless tears from the night before. These were different. These were tears of relief, of possibility, of maybe, just maybe, things turning around. That evening, when the sheriff came to post the final eviction notice, Rochelle stopped him at the door. I need one more week. Please. I have a job interview tomorrow. A real opportunity. The sheriff, a tired-looking man named Officer Davis, sighed. Ma'am, I don't make these decisions. I know. But please. Can you give me anything? A few days? He looked at her, then at Amara peeking out from behind her mother's legs. He rubbed his face. I'll tell the landlord's office I couldn't find you today. That buys you maybe 3 days tops. After that, I can't help you. Thank you, Rochelle breathed. Thank you so much. That night, she went through her tiny closet trying to find something appropriate for a job interview. She had her diner uniform, her grocery store vest, and her cleaning service polo. Nothing professional. Finally, she found a blue dress she'd worn to her high school graduation 10 years ago. It was outdated and a little tight, but it was clean and respectable. Mama, you look pretty, Amara said. Thank you, baby. Rochelle knelt down to hug her daughter. Tomorrow might change everything for us. Will we still see the pretty car? Rochelle smiled. Yes, we'll still see the pretty car. The next morning, Thursday, Rochelle woke at 6 instead of 5. She walked Amara to school in her blue dress, covered by her old coat. At the intersection, the silver car passed by right on schedule. Amara waved with both hands, more enthusiastic than ever. Inside the car, Nathan saw them and felt his chest tighten. Today was Rochelle's interview. Jennifer had scheduled it with the operations manager, but Nathan planned to accidentally stop by. He wanted to see if the woman who raised such a joyful child despite everything was the person he thought she was. Good luck, Nathan whispered, though he knew she couldn't hear him. This is your shot. After dropping Amara at school, Rochelle took 2 buses downtown to the Pierce Technologies building. It was gleaming glass and steel, 40 stories of success. She felt small walking through the marble lobby. Security directed her to the 23rd floor. Jennifer Wu met her at the elevator, professional and kind. Ms. Johnson, welcome. Thank you for coming. Thank you for the opportunity, Rochelle said, her voice steady despite her nerves. The interview was with Michael Torres, head of operations. He was a no-nonsense man in his 50s who got straight to the point. You don't have a college degree. You don't have office experience. Why should I hire you? Rochelle met his eyes. Because I work harder than anyone you'll ever meet. I've managed 3 jobs, a child, and a household on poverty wages for 6 years. I've never missed a shift unless my daughter was sick. I've learned to prioritize, multitask, and solve problems with limited resources. If I can do all that, I can handle project coordination. Michael leaned back in his chair. Tell me about a time you faced a major obstacle and overcame it. Last month, my daughter got sick with the flu right before I had a double shift. I had no sick days left, no childcare backup. I called every person I knew until I found a neighbor who could check on her every hour. I worked my shift, ran home during my break to give her medicine, and went back to finish the day. She got better, I kept my job, and I proved to myself that there's always a solution if you're willing to find it. That's impressive. Michael made notes. This position pays $60,000 a year plus benefits. Health insurance, dental, vision, 401k matching. Does that work for you? Rochelle almost choked. $60,000 was more than all 3 of her jobs combined. Yes, that works. You'll coordinate between our development teams and client services. Lots of scheduling, communication, problem solving. Long hours sometimes, but we're flexible about remote work if you need it for family reasons. I can handle long hours. I'm used to it. Michael stood and extended his hand. Welcome to Pierce Technologies, Ms. Johnson. When can you start? Rochelle shook his hand, stunned. You're hiring me? Just like that. Just like that. Your references from your current employers are outstanding. Rita at Bernie's Diner said you're the most reliable employee she's ever had. That's what we need here. Reliability and determination. I can start immediately. As soon as you need me. Monday then. Jennifer will handle all the paperwork and orientation. Rochelle left the interview in a daze. She'd been hired. $60,000 a year. Benefits. A real job with a future. She wanted to cry, to scream, to dance in the lobby. Instead, she took the elevator down and found a quiet corner to call her landlord's office. Mr. Kozlov, this is Rochelle Johnson in apartment 412. I'd like to pay my overdue rent. All of it. Can I bring it tomorrow morning? There was a pause. You got the money? I got a job. A real job. I'll have the money by tomorrow. Please don't file the eviction. Another pause. Fine. Tomorrow morning. 9 a.m. sharp. All of it plus late fees. I'll be there. Thank you. Rochelle hung up and finally let herself cry. Happy tears this time. Grateful tears. The kind of tears that came when you'd been drowning and someone threw you a rope. She didn't know that Nathan was watching from his office window, using binoculars to see her reaction. He saw her cry and smile and wipe her face. He saw the exact moment hope returned to her eyes. Good, he said quietly. That's what I wanted to see. Jennifer appeared at his door. Satisfied. Very. Make sure her benefits package includes emergency childcare support and transportation stipend. I want her to succeed. Already done, sir. Nathan turned from the window. That little girl still waves at me every morning. Now maybe her mother won't look so tired. You realize you're getting involved in their lives. I know. Nathan returned to his desk. Sometimes you help people because you can. Because you should. Because a child's wave reminded you that good things still exist in the world. Jennifer smiled. Claire would be proud of you. Nathan's expression softened at the mention of his late wife. She always said wealth was a responsibility, not a reward. I'm finally understanding what she meant. The next morning, Friday, Rochelle paid her rent in full. Mr. Kozlov seemed almost disappointed that she'd managed it. Then she walked Amara to school, feeling lighter than she had in years. At the intersection, the silver car passed by. Amara waved. This time, Rochelle waved too, a silent thank you to whoever might be watching. Inside the car, Nathan saw both of them wave. He felt something warm spread through his chest, something he hadn't felt since Claire died. Purpose. Connection. Hope. Same route tomorrow? Marcus asked. Same route every day, Nathan confirmed. I like this routine. The invisible thread between them was pulling tighter, drawing their lives together in ways none of them could predict. Rochelle's first day at Pierce Technologies felt like stepping into another universe. The building gleamed with modern design, all glass and chrome, with views of the city that took her breath away. Employees walked with purpose but also smiled and said good morning. The break room had 3 different coffee machines, fresh fruit, and pastries available all day. It was almost overwhelming. Jennifer Wu gave her a tour, explaining everything in detail. Your desk is in the operations pod, near Michael's office. We use a flexible workspace model so you can also work from the collaboration areas or from home when needed. Your laptop and phone are already set up. This is incredible, Rochelle said, running her hand over the smooth desk surface. She had her own computer, her own phone, her own workspace. We value our employees. Happy workers are productive workers. Jennifer handed her a badge. This gets you into the building, the parking garage, and the cafeteria. Lunch is subsidized, so most meals cost just a few dollars. There's also a gym on the 5th floor if you're interested. Rochelle wanted to laugh. A gym. She'd spent the last 6 years exhausting herself with physical labor, and now she had access to a gym where people chose to exercise. The irony wasn't lost on her. Michael Torres appeared, carrying a coffee. Ready for your first day? Absolutely. Good. Come on, I'll introduce you to the team. The team consisted of 7 other coordinators, all friendly and welcoming. They ranged in age from mid-20s to late 50s, diverse backgrounds and experiences. No one looked at Rochelle like she didn't belong. No one questioned her presence. One woman, LaToya Henderson, pulled her aside during the first break. Girl, those are some serious bags under your eyes. Rough night. Rochelle laughed. Rough 6 years. This is my first real job with real pay. I'm still adjusting. LaToya's expression softened. I get it. I started here 3 years ago after being unemployed for 18 months. This place changed my life. They give real opportunities if you work hard. That's what I'm counting on. You'll do great. And if you need anything, any questions, whatever, just ask. We help each other out here. Rochelle felt tears prick her eyes. Kindness. People being genuinely kind without expecting anything in return. When had that become so rare in her life? The work itself was challenging but manageable. She coordinated schedules between the software development teams and the client service department, making sure everyone communicated and met deadlines. It required organization and problem-solving, skills she'd honed through years of juggling 3 jobs. By the end of the week, Michael called her into his office. You're picking this up faster than most people. I'm impressed. Thank you. I'm just doing my best. I know you are. That's obvious. He leaned back in his chair. There's something else I wanted to discuss. We have an advanced management training program that starts in 3 months. I'd like to nominate you for it. Rochelle blinked. Management training? But I just started. And you've already proven yourself. This program prepares coordinators to become managers within 2 years. It includes courses, mentorship, and project leadership opportunities. Interested? Yes, Rochelle said without hesitation. Absolutely yes. Good. I'll submit your name. Keep doing what you're doing. That afternoon, as Rochelle left the building, she spotted a man standing by the elevator. He was tall, maybe late 30s, with kind eyes and an expensive suit. He was holding the elevator door and gestured for her to enter. Thank you, Rochelle said. You're new here, he observed. Not a question, just a statement. First week. Still learning where everything is. It's a good place to work. Treat people right, they treat you right. The elevator stopped on the main floor. Have a good evening. You too. Rochelle didn't realize she'd just met Nathan Pierce, the owner of the company. He'd engineered that elevator encounter, wanting to see her up close without the weight of his position affecting the interaction. Nathan reported back to Jennifer. She seems stable. Grounded. Not overwhelmed by the environment. She's doing excellent work already. Michael wants to put her in the management program. Good. Let her rise on her own merit. No special treatment. You gave her the job, Nathan. That was special treatment. I gave her a chance. What she does with it is all her. Nathan looked out his office window. Any word on how the daughter is doing with the scholarship? Jennifer pulled up her tablet. Amara Johnson is thriving. Her teacher reports she's more confident, participating more in class. The scholarship coordinator checked in with the family. The mother is beyond grateful. Nathan nodded, satisfied. Everything was going according to plan. The little girl who waved would have a future, and her mother would have the dignity of earning it. Meanwhile, Rochelle was experiencing her first financial security in 6 years. Her first paycheck, even with taxes and deductions, was more than she'd made in a month at all 3 previous jobs combined. She paid all her overdue bills, bought Amara new clothes that actually fit, and put food in the refrigerator. Real food, not just rice and beans. Mama, why are we buying so much? Amara asked as they shopped at a real grocery store, not the dollar store. Because we can afford it now, baby. Things are getting better. That night, they ate dinner at their small kitchen table, a real meal with chicken and vegetables and fresh bread. Amara ate with enthusiasm, and Rochelle realized her daughter had been quietly hungry for years, never complaining but always grateful for whatever little she received. Is this real, Mama? Are things really better now? Rochelle took her daughter's hand. Yes, sweetie. This is real. We're going to be okay now. As the weeks passed, Rochelle settled into her new life. She started the management training program and excelled immediately. The courses covered project management, team leadership, budgeting, and strategic planning. Material she'd never learned formally but understood instinctively from years of managing her own survival. One evening, 3 months into her new job, Michael asked her to stay late for a special meeting. We have a potential client issue. I want you to sit in and observe how we handle crisis management. The meeting included several senior managers, and to Rochelle's surprise, Nathan Pierce himself. Everyone, this is Rochelle Johnson from Operations. Michael introduced her. She's shadowing tonight. Nathan nodded at her with a polite smile, giving no indication they'd met before. Welcome. The meeting focused on a client who was threatening to leave over a service disruption. The team discussed various approaches, most of them defensive or apologetic. Rochelle listened carefully. After 20 minutes, she spoke up. Can I suggest something? Everyone turned to look at her. Michael nodded. Go ahead. Instead of apologizing and offering discounts, why not turn this into an upgrade opportunity? Show the client that the disruption revealed a vulnerability in their current system. Offer to not just fix it, but improve their entire infrastructure at a minimal additional cost. Frame it as us looking out for their best interests, not us covering our mistakes. The room was quiet for a moment. Then Nathan leaned forward. Explain more. Rochelle felt her heart pound but kept her voice steady. Clients leave when they feel undervalued or when they think you're only reacting to problems. If we proactively upgrade their system and show them the long-term benefits, they'll feel like partners, not customers. Partners stay. Nathan smiled slowly. That's smart. Really smart. Michael, can we implement this? Absolutely. Rochelle, you just saved us a major account. After the meeting, Nathan caught up with Rochelle in the hallway. That was impressive thinking. Thank you, Mr. Pierce. Call me Nathan. You have good instincts. Where did you learn to reframe problems like that? Rochelle hesitated, then decided on honesty. I used to work 3 minimum wage jobs while raising my daughter alone. You learn to turn every setback into an opportunity when survival depends on it. Nathan's expression shifted, something like respect and understanding. That kind of real-world experience is invaluable. We should talk more sometime. I like to know the people who work here, especially the ones with potential. I'd like that. As Nathan walked away, Jennifer appeared beside Rochelle. He doesn't usually compliment people directly. You made an impression. I just spoke up. Probably too bold for my first big meeting. No such thing as too bold when you're right. Keep doing exactly what you're doing. Over the next few weeks, Rochelle noticed Nathan around the office more often. He'd stop by the operations area, chat with team members, ask questions about projects. He seemed genuinely interested in how things worked at every level. One day he stopped at Rochelle's desk. How's your daughter doing? I heard she's in the scholarship program. Rochelle smiled, surprised he knew. She's thriving. The scholarship changed everything for us. I can't thank the foundation enough. That's what it's there for. Every kid deserves a shot at education, regardless of their parents' income. He paused. Would she like to come to the company family day next month? We do an event every year. Employees bring their kids, there are activities, food, pretty casual. That sounds wonderful. I'm sure she'd love it. Good. Bring her. And Rochelle? You're doing excellent work. Keep it up. After he left, LaToya rolled her chair over. Did Nathan Pierce just personally invite you to family day? I guess so. Is that weird? It's not weird. It's just rare. He usually makes blanket announcements. Personal invitations mean he's noticed you in a good way. Rochelle didn't think much of it until the day of the event arrived. The company rented out a park with food trucks, games, face painting, and activities for all ages. Amara was beside herself with excitement, wearing a new yellow dress that Rochelle had bought her. Mama, this is amazing, Amara breathed, looking at all the activities. Go play, baby. I'll be right here if you need me. Rochelle watched her daughter run toward the face painting booth, laughing with other kids. This was what childhood should look like. Joy. Freedom. Safety. She looks happy. Rochelle turned to find Nathan standing beside her, holding a soda. He was dressed casually in jeans and a blue polo shirt, looking more relaxed than she'd ever seen him. This is her first real kid event. Usually we couldn't afford things like this. Well, now you can. That must feel good. It feels like a miracle. 3 months ago we were about to be evicted. Now we have stability, security, and hope. I don't know how to thank everyone who made this possible. Nathan was quiet for a moment. You don't have to thank anyone. You earned this through hard work and dedication. All we did was give you a chance. You did the rest. A little girl ran up to Nathan, grabbing his hand. She was about 10 with dark hair and bright eyes. Dad, can we go do the obstacle course? Sure, Sophie. Give me a minute. He looked at Rochelle. My daughter. She's my whole world. I understand that feeling. Sophie looked at Rochelle curiously. Are you one of the new managers? Not yet. Still learning. You will be. Dad says people who work hard always succeed here. Sophie tugged Nathan's hand. Come on, Dad. Nathan laughed. Duty calls. Enjoy the day, Rochelle. As he walked away, LaToya appeared again. Girl, you're having full conversations with the boss now. What's going on? Nothing. He's just friendly. Ah, sure. Friendly. LaToya grinned. You know he's single, right? Widower. Been alone since his wife died 3 years ago. Stop it. This is professional. He's just nice. If you say so. But I've worked here 3 years and never seen him this engaged with a coordinator. Rochelle brushed off the comment, but she couldn't help noticing Nathan throughout the day. He was attentive with his daughter, patient and playful. He talked easily with employees at all levels, remembering names and asking about their families. He seemed genuinely kind, not performing kindness for show. Later in the afternoon, Amara and Sophie ended up on the same team for a relay race. They worked together, laughing and encouraging each other. When their team won, they hugged and celebrated like old friends. Your daughter is wonderful, Nathan said, appearing beside Rochelle again. Sophie doesn't make friends easily. She's been lonely since her mom passed. I'm sorry for your loss. That must be incredibly hard. It is. But we manage. Just like you manage. Single parents have to be strong, right? We don't have a choice. True. Nathan watched the girls run toward the snack table. They're good together. Maybe they could have a playdate sometime? If you're comfortable with that. Rochelle's first instinct was to say no. Rich people didn't do playdates with people like her. But then she looked at Amara's happy face and reconsidered. She'd like that. And honestly, so would I. She doesn't have many friends. Neither does Sophie. Comes with the territory of different circumstances. Nathan pulled out his phone. Can I get your number? We'll set something up. Rochelle gave him her number, trying to ignore LaToya's knowing look from across the park. That night, as she tucked Amara into bed, her daughter couldn't stop talking about the day. Mama, Sophie is so nice. And she said her dad is the boss of the whole company. Is that true? Yes, baby. Mr. Pierce owns the company. He seems really nice too. Not scary like other bosses. Rochelle smiled. Not all bosses are scary. Some are just regular people. I like him. And I really like Sophie. Can we see them again? Maybe. We'll see. Mama, are we rich now? Rochelle laughed softly. No, sweetie. We're comfortable. We have enough. That's different from rich. That's good enough for me. As Amara drifted off to sleep, Rochelle thought about the day. About Nathan's kindness. About the way Sophie and Amara had connected. About how strange it was that a man she'd never spoken to until 3 months ago was now in her phone contacts. Her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. This is Nathan. Thanks for letting the girls hang out today. Sophie hasn't smiled that much in months. Let's definitely set up that playdate. Coffee sometime too? Would be good to talk outside the office. Rochelle stared at the message. Was he asking her out? Or just being friendly? She couldn't tell. She typed back, coffee sounds good. And yes to the playdate. Thank you for today. His response came quickly, thank me by continuing to be great at your job. You're going places, Rochelle. I can tell. She set her phone down, her heart beating faster than it should. This was her boss. The owner of the company. Nothing could happen there. Right? But as she fell asleep, she couldn't stop thinking about his kind eyes and the way he'd looked at his daughter with such love. Rochelle recognized that look because she felt it every time she looked at Amara. Maybe, just maybe, Nathan Pierce understood her world better than she'd thought. The coffee meeting happened the following week at a small cafe near the office. Rochelle arrived early, nervous in a way that had nothing to do with work. She'd chosen her outfit carefully, a green blouse and black pants, professional but not too formal. Nathan arrived exactly on time, casual in jeans and a sweater. He ordered 2 coffees and joined her at a corner table. "Thanks for meeting me. I know this is a little unorthodox, boss having coffee with an employee outside work hours." "It's fine. I'm just curious what this is about." Nathan smiled. "Honestly, I wanted to get to know you better. You're impressive, Rochelle. Your work is excellent, your instincts are sharp, and you have a quality that's rare, especially in business. You're genuine." "Thank you. I'm just trying to do my best." "That's what I mean. You don't play games or politics. You're direct and honest. In my world, that's refreshing." He took a sip of coffee. "Tell me about yourself. Beyond the resume. What do you want out of life?" Rochelle considered the question. "I want Amara to have opportunities one never had. I want her to grow up believing she can be anything. And for myself, I want to prove that where you start doesn't determine where you end up. You're already proving that. 3 months and you're outperforming people who've been here for years. I'm motivated. When you've been at rock bottom, you fight harder to stay above it. I understand that more than you might think." Nathan leaned back. "I wasn't always wealthy. I grew up middle class, had to work my way through college, started my company in a garage with borrowed money. People see the success now and forget the years of struggle. The risk. The failures before the wins. So you understand." "I do. And that's why I like helping people who remind me of where I came from. People with drive and heart." They talked for an hour about everything. Parenting, work, the challenges of balancing career and family. Nathan was easy to talk to, asking questions and actually listening to the answers. Rochelle found herself relaxing, forgetting that he was technically her boss. "Can I ask you something personal?" Rochelle said finally. "Sure. Why did you give me this chance?" "Really? There are thousands of people who needed jobs. Why me?" Nathan was quiet for a moment. "Truthfully? Your daughter." Rochelle frowned. "What?" "Every morning I'd drive past you 2 walking to school. She'd wave at my car with so much joy, so much innocence. It made me think about what childhood should be versus what hers probably was. I had my assistant look into your situation, and when I saw what you were dealing with, I knew I had to help." Rochelle felt a mix of emotions. Gratitude, embarrassment, confusion. "You investigated me? I verified your circumstances so I could help appropriately. I'm sorry if that feels invasive. My intention was good." "You gave me a job out of pity?" "No. I gave you an opportunity to interview based on your work history. You got the job on your own merit. Michael makes all hiring decisions and operations. I just pointed him toward candidates from non-traditional backgrounds. You earned everything after that." Rochelle absorbed this. "So the scholarship for Amara too? The foundation is real and will help many kids. But yes, I made sure she was first in line. I won't apologize for that. She deserves it. I don't know how I feel about this." Nathan leaned forward. "Feel however you want. But here's the truth. Wealth comes with responsibility. I have resources that can change lives. Why wouldn't I use them? You're not charity, Rochelle. You're a smart, capable woman who got stuck in a system designed to keep people like you down. All I did was open a door. You walked through it and proved you belonged. And the coffee today? What's this really about? I wanted to be honest with you. And I wanted to spend time with someone genuine. Someone who doesn't want anything from me except honest conversation." Rochelle studied his face. He seemed sincere. "Okay, I can accept that. But Nathan, I need this job. Amara needs the stability. If this becomes complicated, if people think I'm getting special treatment or there's something inappropriate happening, it could ruin everything." "Nothing inappropriate is happening. We're 2 single parents having coffee and talking about life. That's it. For now." Nathan smiled slightly. "For now. I can't predict the future. But I promise you this. Your job is safe regardless of anything personal between us or not between us. Your work speaks for itself. You're valued here because you're good at what you do, not because of any other reason." "Okay." Rochelle felt some of the tension ease. "Then thank you. For the honesty and for everything you've done for us." "You're welcome. Now about that playdate. Saturday? My place? I have a big backyard and a pool. Sophie would love to have Amara over." "Your place? That's very personal. It's where my kid lives. It's just a house, Rochelle. Bigger than most, sure, but still just a place where a father and daughter watch movies and argue about homework." Rochelle laughed despite herself. "Fine. Saturday. But I'm staying with Amara." not dropping her off. I assumed as much. I'll cook lunch. Nothing fancy. Burgers and hot dogs. Sophie's favorite. We'll be there. That Saturday, Rochelle drove to Nathan's address, which turned out to be in one of the wealthiest neighborhoods in the city. The houses were massive, set back from the street with manicured lawns and security gates. "Mama, are you sure this is right?" Amara asked, eyes wide. "This is the address he gave me." They pulled up to a stunning modern home with floor-to-ceiling windows and a circular driveway. Before Rochelle could panic and leave, Nathan appeared at the front door, waving. "You made it. Come on in." The house was beautiful but surprisingly comfortable. Yes, it was huge and clearly expensive, but it felt lived in. There were Sophie's drawings on the refrigerator, shoes by the door, a book left open on the couch. It was a home, not a showplace. "Sophie's out back already," Nathan said. "Amara, she's been waiting for you all morning." Amara ran through the house toward the glass doors leading to the backyard. Rochelle followed more slowly, taking in the space. The backyard was incredible. A large pool with a waterfall feature, a covered patio with comfortable furniture, a play structure that looked like it belonged in a park. Sophie was already in the pool and waved excitedly when she saw Amara. "Can I swim, Mama?" Amara asked. "I didn't bring a swimsuit." "I've got spares," Nathan said. "All sizes. Sophie has friends over sometimes. Give me a sec." He returned with a pink swimsuit that fit Amara perfectly. Within minutes, both girls were in the pool, laughing and playing like they'd been friends for years. Rochelle sat on the patio watching them. Nathan joined her with 2 cold drinks. "They're good together," he observed. "They really are. I haven't seen Amara this happy in a long time." Same with Sophie. "She's been withdrawn since her mom died. Therapy helps, but what she really needs is to feel like a normal kid again." "What happened? If you don't mind me asking." Nathan's expression grew somber. "Cancer. Started as breast cancer, spread before we caught it. She fought for 2 years, but in the end it was too aggressive. Sophie was 7 when Claire died. Old enough to understand but too young to process it properly." "I'm so sorry. That's heartbreaking." "It was. Still is some days. But we keep going. That's all you can do." He looked at Rochelle. "You understand that. You've had your own struggles. Different kind, but still hard. Different kinds of hard can't really be compared. Loss is loss. Struggle is struggle." "True. But you and I both know what it's like to worry about our kids' futures. To lie awake at night wondering if we're doing enough, being enough." Rochelle nodded. "Every single night." They sat in comfortable silence for a while, watching the girls play. Sophie was teaching Amara a handstand in the pool, both of them toppling over and coming up laughing. "Thank you for this," Rochelle said. "This whole day. Amara needs more joy in her life. So does Sophie. And so do their parents, if I'm being honest." Nathan turned to look at her. "I like spending time with you, Rochelle. You're easy to talk to. Comfortable. Comfortable is good." "It is. Would you want to do this again? Not just the kids. Maybe dinner sometime?" Rochelle felt her heart skip. "Are you asking me on a date?" "I'm asking if you'd like to have dinner with me. You can call it whatever feels right." "Nathan, you're my boss." "I'm aware. And I promise there's no pressure. Your job is completely separate from anything personal. If you say no, nothing changes at work. If you say yes, we keep it quiet and professional until we figure out what this is." "You're very direct. I learned it from you. That day in the meeting when you spoke up. You were direct and honest. I respect that." Rochelle thought about it. She'd been alone for 6 years, focused only on survival and Amara. The idea of dating, especially someone like Nathan, felt both terrifying and exciting. "One dinner," she said finally. "Somewhere quiet. Nothing fancy. And we see how it goes." Nathan smiled. "Deal. Thursday night? There's a great Italian place, family-owned, not expensive or showy. Good food, good atmosphere." "Okay. Thursday." They shook hands, sealing the agreement, both of them smiling like teenagers instead of adults with serious responsibilities. The rest of the afternoon passed easily. Nathan grilled burgers while Rochelle helped set the table. The girls ate like they were starving, then went back to playing in the pool. Rochelle found herself relaxing completely, laughing at Nathan's stories about Sophie's strong-willed personality. "She reminds me of her mother," Nathan said fondly. "Claire never backed down from anything. She was fierce. Amara's like that too. Gentle but stubborn. Once she decides something, that's it. No changing her mind. Sophie's the same. Last month she decided she wanted to learn guitar. I bought her lessons. She practiced for 2 weeks, decided she preferred piano instead. Now we have a guitar gathering dust and a piano teacher coming twice a week. Rochelle laughed. At least you can afford to let her explore options. I used to feel guilty that Amara couldn't try different activities. Well, now she can. The scholarship includes extracurricular funding. If she wants to try dance, music, sports, whatever, it's covered. That's incredibly generous. That's the point of having resources. Using them to help people. When the sun started setting, Rochelle reluctantly said they needed to leave. Amara protested but was clearly exhausted from all the swimming and playing. Can we come back? Amara asked as they left. If Sophie's dad invites us, Rochelle said. Consider this an open invitation, Nathan said. Seriously. Anytime you want to come swim or hang out, you're welcome. Sophie would love it. Thank you. For everything. As they drove home, Amara chattered nonstop about the day. Sophie is so cool, Mama. And Mr. Nathan is really nice. He taught me how to dive. Did you see me do a cannonball? I saw, baby. You were great. Are we friends with them now? Rochelle smiled. Yes, sweetie. I think we are. That night, after Amara was asleep, Rochelle's phone buzzed with a text from Nathan. Sophie hasn't stopped talking about today. Thank you for letting them become friends. And thank you for saying yes to dinner. I'm looking forward to Thursday. Rochelle typed back, me too. Good night, Nathan. Good night, Rochelle. She set her phone down and stared at the ceiling. Her life had changed so much in 3 months. From desperation to stability. From isolation to friendship. And now, maybe, to something more. She thought about Nathan's kind eyes and easy smile. The way he was with Sophie, patient and loving. The way he treated Rochelle with respect and genuine interest. Don't mess this up, she whispered to herself. Don't let fear ruin something good. For the first time in years, Rochelle let herself hope for something beyond survival. She let herself imagine a future that included happiness, not just security. Love, not just necessity. And as she drifted off to sleep, she smiled, thinking about Thursday dinner and whatever came after. I want to pause here and ask you something important. Have you ever been given a chance that changed your life? Have you ever met someone who saw your potential when no one else did? If this story is touching your heart, please subscribe and leave a comment sharing your experience. Sometimes all we need is one person to believe in us. One opportunity. One moment of kindness. Let's build a community that celebrates those moments and encourages each other to keep believing. Now, let's continue with Rochelle and Nathan's story. Thursday arrived faster than Rochelle expected. She changed outfits 3 times before settling on a simple red dress, modest but pretty. LaToya had offered to watch Amara for the evening, refusing to take no for an answer. Girl, you deserve a night out. Go have fun with your billionaire boss, LaToya had teased. He's not my billionaire anything. It's just dinner. Ah, just dinner. With the man who can't stop looking at you during meetings. Rochelle had rolled her eyes, but she couldn't deny the flutter of anticipation in her stomach. Nathan picked her up at 7, driving a modest sedan instead of the luxury car she'd expected. He wore dark jeans and a button-down shirt, looking relaxed and handsome. You look beautiful, he said as she got in the car. Thank you. You clean up nice too. The restaurant was exactly as Nathan described. Small, family-owned, with checkered tablecloths and the smell of garlic bread filling the air. It was perfect. Not intimidating. Not showy. Just good food and warm atmosphere. They were seated at a corner table, away from the main crowd. The server, an older woman named Rosa, treated Nathan like an old friend. Mr. Nathan, so good to see you. And who is this lovely lady? Rosa, this is Rochelle. Rochelle, Rosa makes the best lasagna in the city. Then I'll have the lasagna, Rochelle said with a smile. After Rosa left to put in their order, Nathan leaned back and relaxed. I've been coming here since I started my company. When I was living on ramen and energy drinks, Rosa would feed me for free. She said I looked too skinny. She sounds wonderful. She is. This place reminds me where I came from. Keeps me grounded. They talked easily, the conversation flowing naturally from topic to topic. Nathan asked about Amara's interests in school. Rochelle asked about Sophie's adjustment to losing her mother. They discussed books, movies, their childhoods, their hopes for their daughters' futures. I want Sophie to understand that money doesn't define worth, Nathan said. That's hard when you're wealthy. She goes to a school where everyone has everything. I worry she'll grow up entitled or disconnected from reality. That's why days like last Saturday matter. Letting her just be a kid playing in the pool with a friend. No pressure, no expectations. Exactly. Claire was always good at that. Keeping things normal. I'm trying to honor that, but it's hard alone. Rochelle reached across the table and touched his hand. You're doing great. Sophie is kind, well-adjusted, and clearly loved. That's what matters. Nathan turned his hand to hold hers. Thank you. That means a lot coming from you. The touch lingered, neither of them pulling away. Rochelle felt warmth spread through her chest, a feeling she'd almost forgotten existed. When the food arrived, they reluctantly let go and focused on eating. The lasagna was indeed incredible, layers of pasta and cheese and rich sauce that melted in her mouth. Oh my God, this is amazing, Rochelle said. Nathan grinned. Told you. Rosa knows her stuff. After dinner, they took a walk through a nearby park. The evening was cool but pleasant, streetlights casting soft glows on the path. Other couples walked hand in hand, and Rochelle felt the urge to reach for Nathan's hand but held back. He noticed. You can hold my hand if you want. I'd like that. Rochelle smiled and let him take her hand. His palm was warm, his grip gentle. Felt right. I haven't done this in a long time, she admitted. Dating. Relationships. I've been focused on survival for so long, I forgot what it's like to just enjoy someone's company. Same. After Claire died, I threw myself into work and parenting. The idea of dating felt wrong, like I was betraying her memory. But lately, I've realized that isolating myself isn't what she would have wanted. What would she have wanted? For Sophie and me to be happy. To live fully. To let people in. He stopped walking and turned to face Rochelle. You make me feel like it's okay to want that again. Like I'm not being selfish for wanting connection. You're not selfish. You're human. We all need connection. Nathan stepped closer. Can I kiss you? Rochelle's heart raced. Yes. He leaned in slowly, giving her time to change her mind. When their lips met, it was soft and tentative, testing the waters. Then deeper, more certain. Rochelle felt herself melt into the kiss, her hands coming up to rest on his chest. When they pulled apart, both were smiling. That was nice, Nathan said. Yeah, it was. They walked back to the car, hands still linked. The drive back to Rochelle's apartment was filled with comfortable silence, both of them processing what had happened. At her door, Nathan walked her up. I had a great time tonight. Me too. Thank you for dinner. Can we do this again? Soon. Yes. I'd like that. Nathan kissed her once more, gentle and sweet. Good night, Rochelle. Good night, Nathan. Inside, LaToya was waiting on the couch, grinning like a cat. So, how was it? Rochelle couldn't stop smiling. It was perfect. Did he kiss you? Yes. LaToya squealed. I knew it. This is so romantic. You and the billionaire boss. Stop calling him that. He's just Nathan. Girl, you better hold on to him. Good men are rare. Good men with resources who treat you right? Even rarer. Over the following weeks, Nathan and Rochelle continued seeing each other. They kept it quiet at work, maintaining professional boundaries in the office. But outside work, they spent as much time together as their schedules allowed. They took the girls to the zoo, where Sophie and Amara raced from exhibit to exhibit with boundless energy. They had movie nights at Nathan's house, the four of them piled on the couch with popcorn. They went to a local festival where they rode carnival rides and ate too much cotton candy. The girls became inseparable. Sophie started asking if Amara could come over every weekend. Amara talked about Sophie constantly, their bond growing stronger with each interaction. One evening, about 2 months into their relationship, Nathan invited Rochelle to dinner at his house after the girls were asleep. He cooked pasta and they ate on the patio under the stars. I need to tell you something, Nathan said, setting down his fork. Rochelle felt a flicker of worry. Okay. I'm falling in love with you. Her breath caught. Nathan. I know it's fast. I know we're in a complicated situation with work and the kids. But I can't pretend what I feel isn't real. You've brought joy back into my life. Sophie adores you and Amara. I wake up thinking about you. I go to sleep thinking about you. That's love, Rochelle. At least it is for me. Rochelle felt tears prick her eyes. I feel it too. It scares me. Everything happened so fast. 3 months ago I was barely surviving. Now I have a career, stability, and someone who makes me feel valued and cherished. It feels too good to be true. It's not too good. It's just right. Life is supposed to have good things in it. You deserve good things. So do you. Then let's have them together. Let's see where this goes without being afraid. Rochelle reached across the table and took his hand. Okay. Together. Nathan came around the table and pulled her into his arms. They stood there on the patio holding each other, the night air warm around them. I love you, Rochelle Johnson. I love you too, Nathan Pierce. They spent the night talking about their future, cautiously, carefully, but with hope. They agreed to continue keeping their relationship private at work for now, not out of shame but to avoid complications. They discussed how to handle merging their families eventually, making sure Sophie and Amara were comfortable with every step. We go slow, Nathan said. We're smart about this. Our kids come first. Agreed. But Nathan, I also need to know you see me as an equal. Not someone you rescued. Not a project. A partner. You are my equal. You're smarter than half my executive team, more resilient than anyone I know, and you have integrity that's unshakable. I see you, Rochelle. All of you. And I'm in awe. She kissed him, pouring all her feelings into it. When they finally pulled apart, both were breathless. Stay tonight, Nathan whispered. Just asleep. I want to wake up with you here. I can't. Amara's at home with LaToya. I need to get back. Tomorrow then. Bring her over. We'll have breakfast together, all four of us. Start getting them used to seeing us as more than friends. Okay. Tomorrow. The next morning, Rochelle and Amara arrived at Nathan's house early. Sophie answered the door in pajamas, her face lighting up when she saw them. You're here. Dad's making pancakes. In the kitchen, Nathan was indeed making pancakes, flour dusting his shirt. He looked up when they entered and smiled. Good morning, beautiful. Morning, Rochelle said, her heart swelling with affection. They ate breakfast together, the four of them laughing and talking. Sophie and Amara discussed their plans for the day, swimming, playing dress-up, building a fort in the living room. Nathan and Rochelle exchanged glances, both thinking the same thing. This felt like family. After breakfast, as the girls ran off to play, Nathan pulled Rochelle aside. This is what I want. This feeling. Every day. Me too. But we need to be careful. They're getting attached. If things don't work out between us, it'll hurt them. Things are going to work out. I feel it. Don't you? Rochelle looked at him, at his honest eyes and open expression. Yes, I do. Over the next few months, their relationship deepened. They navigated work carefully, maintaining professionalism but supporting each other behind the scenes. Rochelle continued excelling in her role, earning respect from her colleagues independent of her relationship with Nathan. One day, Rochelle received news that she'd been promoted to junior manager, effective immediately. Michael Torres called her into his office to deliver the news personally. You've earned this, Rochelle. Your performance has been outstanding. You've led 3 major projects to successful completion, improved team efficiency by 20%, and earned the respect of everyone you work with. Congratulations. Thank you, Michael. I'm honored. Don't thank me. You did the work. Keep it up and you'll be senior management within 2 years. Rochelle left his office feeling proud and validated. She'd proven herself on her own merit. Nobody could say she'd only advanced because of Nathan. That evening, Nathan took her and the girls out to celebrate at their favorite pizza place. Sophie and Amara wore matching shirts that said best friends that they'd picked out themselves. To Rochelle, Nathan said, raising his water glass. For proving that hard work and talent always win. To Mama, Amara said, raising her juice box. For being the best. Rochelle felt tears of joy as they all clinked glasses. This was happiness. This was what life could be when people supported each other, when opportunities were given and earned, when love was allowed to grow. Later that night, after the girls were asleep, Nathan and Rochelle sat on his patio watching the stars. I want to tell people about us, Nathan said. I'm tired of hiding. I want everyone to know you're mine and I'm yours. Are you sure? It could cause problems at work. We're following all the company policies. We disclosed our relationship to HR 2 months ago. We maintain professional boundaries at the office. There's nothing to hide. Besides, Rochelle, I'm not ashamed of loving you. I want the world to know. Rochelle smiled. Okay, let's tell people. The girls first. Agreed. Tomorrow. We'll sit them down and explain that we're more than just friends. They might already know. Kids are perceptive. Nathan laughed. Sophie asked me last week if you were my girlfriend. I told her maybe. She said good, I like her. Amara asked me the same thing. I gave her the same answer. Then tomorrow we make it official with them. And next week we go public at work. Together. Together, Rochelle agreed, leaning into his arms. Everything was falling into place. Rochelle had stability, a career, love, and hope for the future. Amara had education, friendship, and a potential father figure who genuinely cared about her. It felt like a dream, but it was real. And for the first time in her life, Rochelle believed she deserved all of it. The next morning, Nathan and Rochelle gathered both girls in the living room. Sophie and Amara sat side by side on the couch, looking curious and slightly worried that they were in trouble. "Is everything okay?" Sophie asked. "Everything's great," Nathan assured her. "We just want to talk to you both about something important." Rochelle sat down on the coffee table facing them. "You know how Mr. Nathan and I have been spending a lot of time together lately?" Both girls nodded. "Well, it's because we really like each other. More than just friends." Amara's eyes went wide. "Like boyfriend and girlfriend?" "Yes, exactly like that," Nathan said. "Is that okay with you too?" Sophie broke into a huge grin. "Really? That's so cool. I told you, Amara. I told you they liked each other." Amara looked at her mother. "Are you happy, Mama?" "Very happy, baby. Are you okay with this?" Amara thought for a moment, then nodded. "I like Mr. Nathan. And Sophie is my best friend. This means we get to see each other more, right?" "A lot more," Nathan confirmed. "Then I'm happy too," Amara decided. Sophie jumped up and hugged Nathan. "Does this mean Amara might become my sister someday?" Nathan and Rochelle exchanged glances. "Let's take things one step at a time, sweetheart. But yes, maybe someday." The girls started talking excitedly about all the things they could do together now as one big family. They planned sleepovers and vacations and holiday celebrations. Their enthusiasm was contagious and both adults found themselves smiling. "Well, that went better than expected," Rochelle said later when they were alone. "Kids are adaptable. They just want the adults they love to be happy." "Speaking of being happy, we should probably tell my coworkers before someone spots us together and rumors start." Nathan nodded. "Monday. We'll make an announcement. Together." That weekend felt like a honeymoon. They spent both days as a family unit doing normal things. Grocery shopping, cooking meals, watching movies. The girls played constantly while Nathan and Rochelle stole moments alone, talking and planning their future. Sunday evening, Rochelle tucked Amara into bed in the guest room at Nathan's house. They'd been staying over more frequently, and Amara now had her own space there with clothes and toys. "Mama, are we going to live here someday? Would you want that?" "Yes. It's big and pretty and Sophie is here. Plus the pool." Amara smiled. "But I'd miss our apartment. That's where it's always been, just you and me." Rochelle stroked her daughter's hair. "Wherever we live, it'll always be you and me first. That never changes. But maybe now we get to have more people who love us too." "I like that idea. I love you, Mama." "I love you too, baby. Sleep well." Downstairs, Nathan had poured 2 glasses of wine and was waiting on the patio. Rochelle joined him, curling up beside him on the outdoor couch. "Sophie's already asleep. She was exhausted from swimming all day," Nathan said. "Amara too. They have so much energy." "Speaking of energy, I got a call from the foundation coordinator yesterday. They want to expand the scholarship program to 3 more schools based on Amara's success story. Her grades have improved even more, and her teachers say she's a completely different kid. More confident, more engaged." Rochelle felt pride swell in her chest. "That's amazing. Education changes everything." "It does. And so does stability. You've given Amara both by working so hard to improve your situation. You helped with that. We helped each other. That's what partners do." Nathan set down his wine glass and turned to face her. "I know we agreed to take things slow, but I need you to know something. I see a future with you, Rochelle. Marriage, family, growing old together. All of it. I'm not saying we rush into anything, but I want you to know my intentions are serious." Rochelle's heart raced. "Marriage? Eventually. When the time is right. When the girls are ready. When we're ready. But yes, that's where I see this going." "Is that what you want too?" "Yes," Rochelle said without hesitation. "I want all of that." Nathan pulled her close and kissed her deeply. "Then we're on the same page." Monday morning arrived and Rochelle felt nervous as she entered the Pierce Technologies building. She and Nathan had agreed to address their team first thing, getting ahead of any rumors or gossip. At 9 a.m. they called a department meeting. Michael Torres looked confused, not having been briefed on the purpose. The operations team gathered in the conference room, about 20 people total. Nathan stood at the front with Rochelle beside him. "Thanks for gathering on short notice. Rochelle and I wanted to make an announcement. We've been seeing each other personally for the past few months. We wanted to be transparent about this relationship and assure everyone that it doesn't affect our professional operations here." There were murmurs of surprise, but most people looked more pleased than shocked. LaToya grinned from the back of the room and gave Rochelle a thumbs up. "We've already disclosed this to HR and established proper protocols. Rochelle added. My promotions and assignments are based solely on merit and performance, reviewed by Michael and other senior staff, not by Nathan directly. We're committed to maintaining professional boundaries here at work. Michael spoke up. I can confirm that Rochelle's advancement has been earned through excellent work. I make all promotion decisions in this department, and her performance speaks for itself. Any questions? Nathan asked. One of the senior coordinators, Mark Chen, raised his hand. Are you happy? Nathan smiled. Very. Then congratulations. You both deserve it. The room broke into applause. Several people came up afterward to offer congratulations and well wishes. The response was overwhelmingly positive. That went well, Rochelle said later in her office. Latoya appeared in the doorway. Girl, I am so happy for you. I knew something was happening. You've been glowing for weeks. Thanks, Latoya. Your support means everything. Just promise me you'll invite me to the wedding. Rochelle laughed. We're not there yet. But you will be. I can tell. That man looks at you like you hung the moon. Over the next month, their relationship became public knowledge throughout the company. There was some gossip initially, but it died down quickly when people saw that Rochelle continued working hard and earning her keep. Nathan made a point of never showing favoritism, and Rochelle made a point of exceeding expectations. They settled into a comfortable routine. Most weeknights, Rochelle and Amara stayed at their apartment, giving everyone space. Weekends were spent together at Nathan's house, the four of them becoming increasingly comfortable as a family unit. One Saturday evening, Nathan suggested they take the girls to a local fair. It was the kind of small-town event with rides, games, and fried food. Nothing fancy, just fun. Sophie and Amara ran from booth to booth, playing games and winning small prizes. Nathan won Rochelle a stuffed bear at the ring toss, looking ridiculously proud of himself. My hero, Rochelle teased. I'll have you know I'm very skilled at ring toss. You spent $30 to win a $5 bear. Worth it to see you smile. They walked hand in hand through the fair, the girls running ahead. Other families surrounded them, everyone enjoying the simple pleasure of a community event. Rochelle felt normal in the best way. Not poor anymore. Not struggling. Just a woman with her partner and their kids having a good time. At the Ferris wheel, Sophie insisted they all ride together. The four of them squeezed into one car, laughing as it lifted them high above the fair. This is my favorite part, Amara said, looking out at the view. Mine too, Nathan agreed, but he was looking at Rochelle when he said it. At the top, the wheel paused for a moment. The sun was setting, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple. The girls pointed out landmarks they recognized while Nathan and Rochelle sat close, his arm around her shoulders. This is perfect, Rochelle whispered. It is. This is what life should be. I used to think perfect didn't exist for people like me. That it was reserved for other people, luckier people. You're lucky now. We're lucky. We found each other. We did. Or maybe Amara found us by waving at your car every day. Nathan smiled. Best wave of my life. As the Ferris wheel descended, Rochelle felt overwhelming gratitude. Gratitude for the job that gave her stability. Gratitude for Amara's scholarship that secured her future. But mostly gratitude for Nathan, who'd seen them as people worth knowing, worth helping, worth loving. Later that night, after the girls were asleep, Nathan and Rochelle sat in his home office. He wanted to show her something he'd been working on. I've been thinking about the foundation. It's doing well helping kids across the district. But I want to expand its mission. How? Financial literacy programs for parents. Job training. Mentorship. Not just helping kids with education but helping families break cycles of poverty. What do you think? Rochelle felt her eyes sting with tears. I think it's brilliant. That's what I needed 6 years ago. Not just help for Amara, but help for me to build a better life. Would you want to be involved? Maybe help design the program from a parent's perspective. Yes, absolutely. I'd love that. Nathan pulled her onto his lap. See? We're good together. We make each other better. We do. They kissed, slow and deep, the kind of kiss that promised forever. When they pulled apart, both were smiling. I love you, Rochelle Johnson. I love you too, Nathan Pierce. More than I thought possible. Everything was coming together. Rochelle had a career she was proud of, a daughter who was thriving, and a man who loved her completely. The foundation was expanding to help more families avoid the struggles she'd faced. Life was good. But as with all good things, challenges were waiting around the corner. Challenges that would test their relationship and their resolve. But for now, in this moment, everything was perfect. 3 months into their public relationship, Everything seemed to be going smoothly. Rochelle had been promoted again to senior project manager, overseeing 3 teams and multiple major accounts. Her success was undeniable, her work ethic legendary within the company. But not everyone was happy about it. Lauren Kim, Nathan's business partner and CFO, had been with Pierce Technologies since the beginning. She'd invested her own money when the company was just an idea, and she fiercely protected its interests. She was brilliant, tough, and deeply skeptical of anything that might threaten the company's reputation. One Monday morning she called Nathan into her office. "We need to talk about Rochelle." Nathan's expression cooled. "What about her?" "Nathan, I respect what you're trying to do. I understand you care about her. But the optics are terrible. You hired your girlfriend, promoted her repeatedly, and now she's in senior management after less than a year. People are talking. People always talk. Rochelle earned every promotion. Check her performance reviews. Check her project completion rates. Check client satisfaction scores. She's in the top 5% of all employees. I'm not questioning her ability. I'm questioning the perception. We have investors, clients, and employees watching. When the CEO is dating an employee he personally hired and promoted, it raises concerns about favoritism and judgment. I didn't personally hire her. Michael did. I didn't personally promote her. Her managers did based on merit. You created the position she interviewed for. You established the scholarship her daughter received. You've been involved from the beginning, Nathan. Don't pretend otherwise." Nathan leaned forward. "You're right. I helped her. I'm not ashamed of that. But everything after the initial opportunity was earned through her hard work. Ask anyone who works with her." Lauren softened slightly. "I believe you. I believe she's talented. But Nathan, we're growing fast. We're about to go public with our next funding round. Investors will scrutinize every aspect of this company, including executive relationships. I'm worried about how this looks. What do you want me to do? End my relationship with a woman I love because of optics? No. I want you to be careful. Make sure everything is documented properly. Make sure there's no possible claim of impropriety. And maybe, consider whether Rochelle might be better served at another company where there's no conflict of interest. You want me to push her out? I want you to think about what's best for her career long term. If she stays here, she'll always face questions about whether she earned her position or just got it through you. At another company, she could prove herself without that shadow." Nathan stood up, angry. "Lauren, I hear your concerns. But I'm not asking Rochelle to leave. If she chooses to leave on her own for her career, I'll support her. But I won't force her out to make investors comfortable." "Fine. But don't say I didn't warn you when this becomes a problem." Nathan left Lauren's office frustrated and worried. He knew she had valid points, but he also knew Rochelle's worth. He couldn't punish her for their relationship by pushing her away. That evening he told Rochelle about the conversation. They were at her apartment, Amara asleep in the next room. "Maybe she's right," Rochelle said quietly. "Don't say that. Nathan, I've been thinking about this too. Every time I get recognized for good work, there's a whisper that it's because of you. Every time I lead a successful project, someone questions whether I really earned it. I'm tired of proving myself over and over. You shouldn't have to prove anything. Your work speaks for itself. But it doesn't. Not when people see me as your girlfriend first and an employee second." Rochelle stood and paced the small living room. "What if I looked for opportunities elsewhere? Not because I want to leave, but because I want to succeed on my own terms. I want people to look at my resume and see my accomplishments without wondering about our relationship." Nathan felt his chest tighten. "I don't want you to go. I don't want to go either. But I need to think about my career. About setting an example for Amara. About proving I can make it without anyone's help." "You're not getting help. You're earning everything." "I know that. You know that. But not everyone does." Rochelle sat back down beside him. "Let me think about it. Look at some options. See what's out there. It doesn't mean I'm leaving tomorrow. It just means I'm considering what's best for my long-term career." Nathan pulled her close. "Promise me we'll figure this out together? Whatever you decide, we stay together." "I promise. This isn't about us. It's about me building something I can be proud of independently." Over the next few weeks, Rochelle quietly updated her resume and started networking. She reached out to former colleagues and made connections at industry events. Several companies expressed interest immediately, impressed by her track record. One company, DataCore Solutions, offered her a director position with a significant salary increase. The role would give her full autonomy over a large team and direct influence on company strategy. It was an incredible opportunity. Rochelle sat with the offer for 3 days before telling Nathan. "It's a great opportunity," Nathan admitted when she showed him the details. "Director level in less than a year. That's remarkable. It feels like running away from a problem instead of facing it. Or it feels like taking control of your career. There's a difference. What do you want me to do?" Nathan took her hands. "I want you to do what makes you happy and fulfilled. If that's staying at Pierce, we'll handle the gossip together. If that's taking this new role and proving yourself independently, I'll support you completely. This is your decision. What about us? We've built this life together. We'll still have that. Different companies doesn't mean different relationship. We'll make it work." Rochelle spent a weekend thinking, talking with LaToya and Amara, weighing her options. Finally, she made her decision. Monday morning, she accepted the position at DataCore. She gave Pierce Technologies 4 weeks' notice, agreeing to transition all her projects properly. The news spread quickly through the company. Some people were sad to see her go. Others seemed relieved, as if her departure validated their suspicions that she'd only been there because of Nathan. Michael Torres called her into his office. "Is this because of the gossip?" "Partly. But mostly it's because I need to prove to myself that I can succeed anywhere, not just where someone gave me a chance. You're going to be great wherever you go. You've been one of my best managers. That's on record, independent of anything else." "Thank you, Michael. That means everything." Nathan maintained professional distance during her notice period, not wanting to fuel more rumors. But privately they talked every night about the transition and their future. "I'm scared," Rochelle admitted one evening. "What if I fail? What if I only succeeded at Pierce because you believed in me?" "You'll succeed because you're talented and hardworking. I believed in you because I saw that. I didn't create it. Promise me we'll be okay. That this doesn't change us." "I promise. Rochelle, we're building a life together. Different jobs don't change that. If anything, this makes us stronger. We're choosing each other despite the complications." Her last day at Pierce Technologies came too quickly. The team threw her a going-away party with cake and heartfelt speeches. Even Lauren Kim showed up. "I'm sorry if I made you feel unwelcome," Lauren said privately. "For what it's worth, you're excellent at what you do. I hope you succeed at DataCore." "Thank you. I understand you were protecting the company. No hard feelings." Nathan walked Rochelle to her car at the end of the day. In the parking garage, away from watching eyes, he hugged her tightly. "I'm so proud of you. I'm proud of me too. And grateful for everything you've done. This isn't goodbye. It's see you later." "See you later," Rochelle agreed. Starting at DataCore the following Monday felt like starting over. New building, new team, new challenges. But Rochelle approached it with confidence built from months of success. She knew she could do this. Her new team was initially skeptical of a director so young and new to the industry. But within 2 weeks, Rochelle proved herself. She reorganized workflows, improved communication between departments, and landed a major new client through strategic outreach. Her direct manager, Susan Torres, called her in after the first month. "I don't know what your previous company was thinking letting you go. You're exceptional." "Thank you. I'm enjoying the challenge. Keep this up and you'll be VP level within a year." Rochelle left the meeting feeling validated. She'd made the right choice. She was succeeding on her own merits, building a reputation independent of any relationship. Nathan celebrated every win with her. When she landed the major client, he took her and the girls to a nice dinner. When she received her first performance review with outstanding marks, he sent flowers to her office. "You're proving everyone wrong," he said proudly. "I'm proving myself right," Rochelle corrected. "That's what matters." Their relationship continued to strengthen despite working at different companies. If anything, the separation made their time together more intentional. They cherished evenings and weekends, building their family unit slowly and deliberately. Sophie and Amara were thriving, both girls excelling in school and their friendship deeper than ever. They talked constantly about when their parents would get married, planning their roles as joint maids of honor. "They're not subtle," Rochelle laughed one day when she found them looking at flower arrangements online. "They're invested," Nathan agreed. "Can't blame them. I'm invested too." "In what?" "In us. In our future. In making this official when the time is right." Rochelle's heart swelled. "When will that be?" "Soon. Very soon. I'm just waiting for the perfect moment." 6 months after joining DataCore Solutions, Rochelle was asked to lead a presentation to their biggest potential client. The account was worth $5 million annually, and landing it would be a huge coup for the company. Rochelle spent weeks preparing, researching the client's needs, crafting a custom solution, and practicing her presentation until she could deliver it in her sleep. Nathan helped her practice at home, playing devil's advocate and asking tough questions. "You've got this," he assured her the night before. "You're brilliant, prepared, and confident. They'd be foolish not to sign with you. I hope you're right. This could make or break my reputation here." "Your reputation is already solid. This will just cement it." The day of the presentation, Rochelle wore her favorite blue suit, the one that made her feel powerful and professional. She arrived early, set up her materials, and greeted the client team as they entered. The presentation lasted 2 hours. Rochelle walked them through their analysis of the client's current systems, identified weaknesses and opportunities, and proposed a comprehensive solution that addressed every concern. She fielded questions with expertise, never stumbling or appearing uncertain. When it was over, the client's CEO, Richard Novak, stood and shook her hand. "That was the most thorough and impressive presentation we've seen. You understand our business better than some of our own managers." "Thank you, sir. We take client success seriously. We'll have a decision by Friday. But I'll tell you now, you're in the lead." Friday afternoon, Rochelle got the call. Datacore had won the account. Susan burst into Rochelle's office with champagne. "You did it. $5 million a year for the next 3 years with renewal options. This is huge." The entire office celebrated. Rochelle's team lifted her onto their shoulders, chanting her name. It was overwhelming and wonderful validation that she'd earned her place through merit alone. That evening, Nathan took her to a fancy restaurant to celebrate. He'd also invited LaToya, Michael Torres, and several of Rochelle's former Pierce Technologies colleagues who'd become genuine friends. To Rochelle, Nathan toasted. For proving that talent and determination always win. To Rochelle, everyone echoed. Rochelle felt tears of joy. She'd done it. She'd built a career on her own terms, proven herself in a new environment, and earned respect that had nothing to do with who she was dating. "Thank you all for believing in me," she said. "Especially Nathan, who never doubted even when I doubted myself." Nathan reached for her hand. "I always knew you were extraordinary. I just gave you a chance to show the world what I already saw." After dinner, Nathan asked Rochelle to take a walk with him. They strolled through a nearby park, the evening air cool and pleasant. "I'm so proud of you," Nathan said. "Not just for landing the account, but for having the courage to leave Pierce and build your own legacy. It was scary but necessary. I needed to know I could succeed anywhere. And now you do. No one can ever question your capabilities." They reached a small bridge over a pond, the water reflecting the lights from the surrounding trees. Nathan stopped walking and turned to face Rochelle. "I have something to ask you." Rochelle's heart started racing. "Okay." Nathan reached into his pocket and pulled out a small velvet box. He opened it to reveal a beautiful diamond ring, simple and elegant. "Rochelle Johnson, you are the strongest, most inspiring woman I've ever known. You've overcome obstacles that would break most people. You've raised an incredible daughter. You've built a career through pure determination. And somehow you found room in your life for me and Sophie. You've made us whole again. I love you more than I thought possible. Will you marry me?" Tears streamed down Rochelle's face. "Yes. Yes, absolutely yes." Nathan slid the ring onto her finger and kissed her deeply. They stood on the bridge holding each other, both crying and laughing at the same time. "I love you so much," Rochelle said. "You changed my life. We changed each other's lives. That's what love does." They walked back to Nathan's car, hand in hand, both glowing with happiness. Rochelle kept looking at her ring, the diamond catching the light. "When do we tell the girls?" she asked. "Now. They're at my house with a babysitter. I wanted them to be part of this moment." When they arrived home, Sophie and Amara were watching a movie. The babysitter, Nathan's neighbor, excused herself quickly, smiling knowingly. "Girls, we have something to tell you," Nathan said. Both girls looked up, immediately sensing something important. "I asked Rochelle to marry me," Nathan announced. "And she said yes." Sophie and Amara screamed with joy, jumping up and down and hugging each other. Then they ran to their parents, hugging them both. "Does this mean we're really going to be sisters?" Amara asked. "Not officially sisters, but as close as sisters can be," Rochelle said. "We'll be a family." "The best family," Sophie agreed. They spent the rest of the evening celebrating, eating ice cream and planning the wedding. The girls insisted on helping choose everything from flowers to dresses to the cake. "Can we have a chocolate cake?" Amara asked. "And vanilla," Sophie added. "We'll have both," Nathan promised. Later, after the girls finally fell asleep, Nathan and Rochelle sat on the patio looking at the stars. "This is really happening," Rochelle said. "We're getting married." "We are. How does it feel?" "Perfect. Scary and perfect. A year ago I was working 3 jobs and facing eviction. Now I'm engaged to an amazing man, my daughter is thriving, and I have a career I love. It feels like a dream." "It's not a dream. It's real. You earned every bit of this happiness." Rochelle leaned her head on his shoulder. "When should we get married?" "Whenever you want. Tomorrow, next year, whenever feels right. Let's give it 6 months. Plan something simple but meaningful. I want our families and close friends there, but nothing too big or showy." "Sounds perfect." Over the next few weeks they shared the news with everyone. LaToya cried with joy. Michael Torres gave them both bear hugs. Susan Torres at Datacor offered to host the wedding at her family's estate. Even Lauren Kim sent a congratulatory card. "People are happy for us," Rochelle marveled. "Because our love is genuine. People recognize that." They set the wedding date for 6 months out, giving them time to plan without rushing. Sophie and Amara were officially named co-maids of honor, a role they took extremely seriously. At work, Rochelle continued excelling. Datacor offered her a VP position within 8 months of joining, exactly as Susan had predicted. At 29, Rochelle was a vice president at a major tech company, engaged to the man she loved, raising a daughter who was thriving. It was everything she'd ever wanted and more than she'd ever dreamed possible. One evening, Nathan brought up an important topic. "We should think about where we'll live after the wedding. My house, your apartment, or somewhere new?" "Your house makes the most sense. It's big enough for all of us, Sophie's already settled there, and it has the pool the girls love. But it's my house, not our house. I want you to feel like it's truly home." Rochelle thought about it. "What if we redecorate? Make it reflect all of us? Add our touches, our memories. Turn it from your house into our home." "I love that idea. Let's do it." They spent weekends shopping for furniture and artwork, the girls helping choose colors and decorations for their shared room. Rochelle picked out new kitchen accessories, family photos for the walls, and comfortable furniture that felt welcoming. "This feels like home now," Sophie said one day, looking around at all the changes. "It is home," Nathan agreed. "For all of us." 2 months before the wedding, Rochelle received unexpected news. Her landlord, Mr. Kozlov, was selling the apartment building. All tenants had to move out within 60 days. "It's fine," Rochelle told Nathan. "I was going to move in with you after the wedding anyway. This just speeds up the timeline. Move in now then. No point paying rent for 2 more months." "Are you sure?" "Absolutely. We're getting married in 8 weeks. We're already a family. Let's make it official by living together." So Rochelle and Amara moved into Nathan's house. It was a big transition, but the girls were thrilled to finally be under the same roof. They decorated their shared bedroom with posters and fairy lights, creating a space that reflected both their personalities. The first morning waking up together as a family, Nathan made pancakes while Sophie and Amara set the table. Rochelle came downstairs in her pajamas, her hair messy, looking more relaxed than Nathan had ever seen her. "Good morning, family," she said, kissing him. "Good morning, future wife." They ate breakfast together, everyone talking over each other about plans for the day. It was chaotic and loud and absolutely perfect. "This is what I always wanted," Rochelle said quietly to Nathan as they cleaned up. "A real family. A home filled with love and laughter. You have it now. We have it." Work continued going well for both of them. Rochelle's department at Datacor exceeded all quarterly goals, earning her praise from the entire executive team. Nathan's company secured a major investment round, validating years of hard work. They were both successful, both fulfilled, both building something meaningful. And they were doing it together, supporting each other every step of the way. One Saturday afternoon, about a month before the wedding, Rochelle took Amara shopping for a flower girl dress. They found a beautiful white dress with a blue sash that matched Rochelle's wedding colors. "You're going to be the prettiest flower girl ever," Rochelle said. "You're going to be the prettiest bride ever," Amara countered. As they drove home, Amara got quiet. "Mama, can I ask you something?" "Of course, baby." "When you marry Mr. Nathan, will he be my dad?" Rochelle's heart squeezed. "Do you want him to be?" "Yes. I love him. And he loves me. I can tell. He does love you. Very much. We can talk to him about it if you want. See how he feels about officially being your dad." "I'd like that." That evening, Rochelle brought it up with Nathan while the girls played outside. Amara asked me today if you'd be her father after we get married. Nathan's eyes filled with tears. What did you tell her? That we'd talk to you about it? Nathan, I know it's a big responsibility. You don't have to say yes. Being a stepfather is one thing, but actual adoption is different. I want to adopt her. I've wanted to for months but didn't know how to bring it up. Rochelle, I love that little girl like she's my own. Making it legal would be an honor. Really? Really? Can we tell her? They called Amara inside. She came running, her face flushed from playing. Amara, Mr. Nathan and I talked about what you asked me earlier, Rochelle said. Nathan knelt down to Amara's level. Your mom told me you asked if I'd be your dad after the wedding. The answer is yes. Not just as a stepfather but as your real dad. If you want that, I'd like to adopt you officially. Make you legally my daughter. Amara's eyes went wide. Really? You want to be my dad? More than anything. I love you, Amara. You're already my daughter in my heart. This just makes it official. Amara threw her arms around Nathan's neck. Yes. I want that. I want you to be my dad. Nathan held her tight, crying openly now. Sophie came inside to see what the commotion was about. Dad's going to adopt Amara, Rochelle explained. They'll be officially father and daughter. Sophie joined the hug, wrapping her arms around both of them. Now we really are sisters. Rochelle watched them, her heart so full she thought it might burst. This was her family. These three people who'd come into her life and changed everything. Group hug, Nathan called, pulling Rochelle into the embrace. They stood in the living room, all four of them holding each other, crying and laughing at the same time. This was love. This was family. This was everything. The next few weeks flew by in a whirlwind of wedding preparations and adoption paperwork. Nathan's lawyers handled the legal process, and Rochelle's parental rights were transferred to include Nathan as Amara's legal father. On paper, it wouldn't be official until after the wedding, but emotionally they were already a family. Sophie helped Amara practice walking down the aisle. They coordinated their dresses, both wearing white with blue sashes. They giggled constantly, their excitement contagious. I've never seen Sophie this happy, Nathan told Rochelle one night. Not since before Claire got sick. You and Amara brought joy back into our lives. You brought stability and love into ours. We needed each other. We did. And now we get forever. The week before the wedding, Rochelle's co-workers at DataCore threw her a surprise bridal shower. Susan had organized everything, inviting not just work colleagues but also friends from Pierce Technologies including LaToya and several others. You've built such a beautiful life, LaToya said, hugging Rochelle. From where you were to where you are now, it's incredible. I had help. So much help from people who believed in me. You still did the work. Don't diminish that. The gifts were thoughtful and generous. Kitchen supplies, artwork for the house, gift cards for date nights. But the best gift was the photo album Susan presented, filled with pictures from Rochelle's time at both companies, documenting her journey from coordinator to vice president. This is your story, Susan said. Never forget how far you've come. Rochelle cried looking through the pages. Photos of her first day at Pierce, her first big presentation, her promotion to manager. Photos from DataCore showing her leading meetings, closing deals, celebrating successes. And scattered throughout, candid shots of her with Nathan and the girls, showing the personal journey alongside the professional one. Thank you, Rochelle managed to say. This means everything. That night she showed Nathan the album. He turned through the pages slowly, pausing on each photo. Look at you, he said. Look at how you've grown and succeeded. I'm so proud to be marrying this woman. I'm proud to be her. For the first time in my life, I'm truly proud of who I am and what I've built. As you should be. The night before the wedding, they kept with tradition and stayed in separate places. Rochelle and Amara stayed at LaToya's apartment while Nathan and Sophie stayed home. The girls protested being separated, but both sets of parents insisted on at least this one tradition. Tomorrow we become the Pierce Johnson family, Nathan said during their goodnight phone call. Pierce Johnson. I like the sound of that. Me too. Get some sleep. Big day tomorrow. I love you, Nathan. I love you too, Rochelle. See you at the altar. Rochelle hung up and looked at Amara, already asleep on the air mattress beside LaToya's couch. Her daughter. Soon to be their daughter officially. Tomorrow they would stand in front of their friends and family and make it all legal and binding. Tomorrow everything would be complete. Rochelle closed her eyes and thought back to that morning 2 years ago when everything had seemed hopeless. When she'd collapsed on her apartment floor, exhausted and defeated, with no way forward. She thought about Amara waving at that silver car, innocent and joyful despite their circumstances. That wave had changed everything. One small gesture from a little girl had set in motion a series of events that led to this moment. A job, a career, a love, a family, a future. Thank you, Rochelle whispered to the universe, to God, to fate, to whatever force had brought them all together. Thank you for not giving up on us. She fell asleep smiling, dreaming of tomorrow and all the tomorrows after that. Present-day spring. The morning sun streamed through the windows of the Pierce Johnson home. Rochelle woke up in the master bedroom, Nathan's arm draped across her waist. She looked at the clock, 6:30 a.m. Saturday. The house would stay quiet for another hour before the girls woke up demanding breakfast. She rolled over to look at her husband. 2 years married. 2 years of building this life together. It still felt like a miracle sometimes. Nathan's eyes opened. Good morning, beautiful. Good morning. Did you sleep okay? Perfect. You. Perfect. They lay there for a few minutes, enjoying the quiet before the chaos of the day began. These peaceful moments were precious with two energetic daughters in the house. Sophie was now 12, growing into a confident young woman. She excelled at piano and had recently joined the debate team at school. Amara was 8 and had just been accepted into a gifted program for math and science. Both girls were thriving. Rochelle had been promoted again at DataCore, now serving as Senior Vice President of Operations. She managed over 100 employees and had become one of the youngest SVPs in the company's history. Her success was well-earned and widely recognized. Nathan's company had gone public last year, making him even wealthier than before. But he'd stayed grounded, focused on family and his foundation work. The Pierce Education Foundation now served 15 schools and had helped over 200 families escape poverty through education and job training programs. Life was good. Better than good. It was everything they'd worked for. But lately Nathan had been acting strange. It started about 3 weeks ago. He'd become distracted during conversations, checking his phone constantly. He had mysterious meetings that he wouldn't discuss. Twice, Rochelle had caught him quickly closing his laptop when she entered the room. At first she'd brushed it off. He was busy with work. No big deal. But as the behavior continued, worry crept in. Was something wrong with the company? Was he sick and not telling her? Were they in financial trouble? Or worse, was he having an affair? That last thought made her feel sick. She didn't truly believe Nathan would cheat. Their relationship was solid, their communication open. But the secrecy was unlike him, and her old insecurities whispered doubts. Last night she'd asked him directly. Nathan, is everything okay? You've been acting different lately. Everything's fine, he'd said, kissing her forehead. Just some work stuff I'm dealing with. Nothing for you to worry about. But she did worry. She worried because she loved him. She worried because their life together meant everything. She worried because, despite all her success and growth, part of her still feared losing the good things she'd found. This morning, as they got up and started their day, Nathan seemed particularly anxious. He kept checking his phone and looking at the clock. What's going on? Rochelle finally asked as they made breakfast. Nothing. Why? You keep looking at your phone. Just waiting for a message about something. It's not a big deal. Nathan, you're being weird. Just tell me what's going on. He set down the spatula and took her hands. I promise, everything is fine. Actually, everything is really good. But I need you to trust me for a little while longer. Can you do that? Rochelle searched his eyes. He looked excited, not guilty. Nervous, not evasive. Okay. I trust you. Good. Now I need you to get dressed. Something nice but comfortable. We're going out this afternoon. Where? It's a surprise. Nathan. Please. Trust me. You're going to like this. I promise. Rochelle agreed reluctantly. After breakfast, she went upstairs and changed into a green sundress and sandals. Nathan wore dark jeans and a white button-down shirt. Both girls were also dressed nicely, which struck Rochelle as suspicious. Are you all in on this secret? She asked. Yes, Sophie and Amara said in unison, giggling. Great. I'm the only one who doesn't know what's happening. You will soon, Nathan assured her. They drove for about 20 minutes, heading toward a familiar part of town. Rochelle's confusion grew as they approached the neighborhood where her old apartment had been. Why are we coming here? You'll see. They pulled up to the corner where Rochelle used to walk Amara to school every morning. The exact spot where Amara had waved at Nathan's car all those years ago. Nathan parked and everyone got out. Rochelle looked around, completely confused. There was a crowd of people gathered on the corner. As they got closer, Rochelle recognized faces. Latoya, Michael Torres, Susan from Data Core, Jennifer Wu, even Lauren Kim. Former co-workers from the diner and grocery store. Amara's teachers. Sophie's friends' parents. At least 50 people all smiling at her. What is this? Rochelle asked. Nathan took her hand and led her to the center of the crowd. Someone had set up a small stage with a microphone. 2 years ago, Rochelle and I got married, Nathan began, speaking into the microphone. It was the happiest day of my life. But our story started long before that. It started right here on this corner, when a little girl in a red jacket waved at my car every morning. He gestured to Amara, who waved at the crowd exactly like she used to wave at his car. That wave changed everything. It led me to investigate, to learn about a woman who was working herself to death to provide for her daughter. It led me to create opportunities that Rochelle then earned through her own merit and determination. It led to friendship, then love, then family. Rochelle's eyes filled with tears. She still didn't understand what was happening, but her heart was full. Today I want to celebrate that journey. But more than that, I want to honor it by giving back. Nathan pulled out a remote control and clicked it. Behind them, a large banner unfurled on the side of a building. It read, "The Rochelle Pierce Johnson Center for Family Advancement." Rochelle gasped. "I've been working with the city for the past 6 months to establish a new community center right here in this neighborhood," Nathan explained. "It will provide job training, childcare, financial counseling, and educational support for families struggling with poverty. Everything you needed and didn't have access to, Rochelle. Everything that could have helped you years ago." He turned to face her directly. "This center will serve hundreds of families every year. And it's named after you because you're the example of what's possible when people get the right support. You're the inspiration." Rochelle couldn't speak. Tears streamed down her face as she looked at the banner, at the building that would soon house the center, at all the people who'd come to celebrate. "There's more," Nathan said softly. "Show them, girls." Sophie and Amara came forward, each holding a framed certificate. They presented them to Rochelle. The first certificate was the official adoption papers, now finalized, showing Nathan Pierce as Amara Johnson's legal father. The second was a scholarship announcement. The first 10 recipients of the Rochelle Pierce Johnson Scholarship, full rides from kindergarten through college, just like Amara had received. 10 more kids will get the chance you gave Amara, Nathan said. And as the center grows, we'll help even more. Your story doesn't end with your success. It continues by helping others. Rochelle finally found her voice. "I can't believe you did all this. I did it because you inspire me every day. Because our story matters. Because you deserve to be celebrated." The crowd erupted in applause. Latoya was crying. Michael Torres was grinning. Even Lauren Kim looked emotional. Rochelle pulled Nathan into a tight hug. "I love you so much. This is the most incredible thing anyone has ever done." "I love you too. You changed my life, Rochelle. You reminded me what matters. This is just paying it forward." They turned to face the crowd together. The mayor stepped forward to officially dedicate the building. Local news cameras had appeared, documenting the event. This was big news. A major donation, a new community resource, a success story worth sharing. After the ceremony, people came up to congratulate Rochelle. Former co-workers from her minimum wage jobs shared how her story had inspired them to go back to school or look for better opportunities. Parents from Amara's school thanked her for paving the way for the scholarship program. Total strangers told her she gave them hope. "You did this," one young mother said, holding a toddler. "You proved it's possible to climb out. I start a training program next month because of the foundation. Thank you." Rochelle hugged her. "You did it. I just showed that it's possible. You're the one taking action." As the event wound down, the family stood together looking at the building that would soon open. "This is amazing, Dad," Sophie said. "Mom would have loved this." "She would have," Nathan agreed. "Claire always believed in helping people. This honors her too." "And you, Mama," Amara said, hugging Rochelle. "You're a hero." "I'm not a hero, baby. I'm just someone who worked hard and got lucky." "You're both," Nathan corrected. "And you deserve all of this recognition." That evening, back at home, Rochelle and Nathan sat on the patio while the girls did homework inside. "I thought you were having an affair," Rochelle admitted with a laugh. Nathan's eyes widened. "What? Why?" "All the secrecy. The mysterious meetings. The phone checking. I was worried. I'm sorry. I wanted it to be a surprise. I never meant to worry you. It was worth it. Nathan, what you did today was beyond anything I could have imagined. A whole center named after me. Scholarships. Resources for families. It's everything I wished existed when I needed it. That's exactly why it needs to exist. So the next single mother working 3 jobs has somewhere to turn. So the next bright kid doesn't miss opportunities because of poverty. You showed me the problem. Now we're building the solution. Rochelle leaned against him. We really did it, didn't we? We built something beautiful. We did. And we're not done. There's so much more good we can do together. Together, Rochelle agreed. Inside, they could hear the girls laughing about something. Sophie was helping Amara with a math problem, their voices mixing in easy harmony. They're good kids, Nathan observed. The best. We're lucky. We made good choices. That's different from luck. Maybe. But I still feel lucky every day. They sat in comfortable silence, watching the sun set over their backyard. The pool sparkled in the fading light. The house behind them was warm and inviting, filled with love and laughter and memories. This was their life. The one they'd built together from nothing. From a wave on a street corner to a family, a home, and a legacy of helping others. Thank you, Rochelle said softly. For what? For seeing me. For believing in me. For loving me. Thank you for letting me. For trusting me. For building this life with me. They kissed as the stars began to appear in the sky. Their daughters were safe and happy inside. Their love was solid and true. Their future stretched ahead, full of possibility and promise. Everything had led to this moment. Every struggle, every triumph, every choice. It had all been worth it. And the best part? Their story was still being written. New chapters waited, full of adventures and challenges and joys they couldn't yet imagine. But whatever came next, they would face it together. As partners. As family. As proof that kindness, hope, and love really do lead the way. 6 months later, fall. The Rochelle Pierce Johnson Center for Family Advancement was officially open and bustling with activity. Every day, families came through the doors seeking help, finding resources, and building better futures. Job training programs ran throughout the week. Childcare services allowed parents to attend classes or interviews. Financial counselors helped people create budgets and escape debt cycles. It was everything Rochelle had envisioned and more. She volunteered at the center every Saturday morning, teaching a class on career development. Nathan joined her, mentoring people who wanted to start businesses or transition to new industries. They worked as a team, using their combined expertise to help others climb the ladder they'd both ascended. One Saturday, a young woman named Keisha approached Rochelle after class. Wait, no, not Keisha. A young woman named Brianna approached Rochelle after class. Miss Pierce Johnson, thank you for this program. I've been working at a fast food place for 5 years, barely making enough to survive. Your story gave me courage to apply for better jobs. I start as an administrative assistant next month. Real benefits, real pay. Rochelle hugged her. That's wonderful. You did the work. I just showed you it was possible. You did more than that. You proved that where we start doesn't define where we end. That matters more than you know. These conversations happened weekly. People sharing how the center or the scholarships or simply hearing Rochelle's story had changed their trajectory. It was humbling and inspiring and deeply fulfilling. At work, Rochelle continued climbing. There was talk of her becoming chief operating officer within the next 2 years. At 31, she would be one of the youngest COOs in the tech industry. Her success story was featured in business magazines and leadership conferences. She'd become a symbol of what determination and opportunity could achieve together. But more important than any professional success was her family. Sophie was thriving in middle school, a straight-A student with a growing list of achievements. She'd started a charity club at school, inspired by her father and stepmother's foundation work. Amara was excelling in her gifted program, showing particular talent in mathematics and problem-solving. Her confidence had grown immensely from the shy 6-year-old who used to wave at cars. She now spoke up in class, made friends easily, and talked about becoming an engineer someday. Just like Dad builds companies, I want to build things, she'd explained. Real things people can use. Nathan had beamed with pride. Then that's what you'll do. You can be anything you want. The girls' bond remained strong. They shared a room by choice, even though the house had plenty of space for separate bedrooms. They did homework together, played together, argued occasionally like real sisters, and fiercely defended each other against any outside threats. One evening in late October, Nathan came home from work looking particularly excited. He gathered everyone in the living room. I have an announcement, he said. You're pregnant, Sophie joked, making everyone laugh. No. But it's big news. I've been approached by a national organization that wants to replicate our center model in 10 cities across the country. They want to partner with us to create Pierce Johnson centers everywhere. Rochelle's eyes went wide. Everywhere. Well, 10 cities to start. Los Angeles, Houston, Chicago, Detroit, Baltimore, Atlanta, Phoenix, Seattle, Boston, and Philadelphia. All places with significant poverty and families needing support. They'll fund the buildings and operations. We'll provide the model and oversight. That's incredible, Rochelle breathed. It gets better. They want you to be the national director. You'd oversee all the centers, develop curriculum, train staff. It would mean less time at DataCore, but they're supportive. They'd allow you to work part-time while you build this program. Me? National director? You're the face of this movement. Your story, your expertise, your heart. You're the perfect person to lead this expansion. Rochelle felt overwhelmed. That's a huge responsibility. You can handle it. You've handled everything else. Sophie and Amara were bouncing with excitement. Say yes, Mom, Sophie urged. Think of how many families you could help. Mama, you have to do it, Amara agreed. You can change the world. Rochelle looked at Nathan. What do you really think? I think it's your decision. But I also think you were meant for this. You've lived it. You understand it. You can lead it better than anyone. Would you help? Every step of the way. We're partners, remember? Rochelle took a deep breath. Okay. Yes. Let's do it. The family erupted in cheers. Nathan picked her up and spun her around, both of them laughing. The girls jumped up and down, already planning how they could help. That night, after the girls were asleep, Rochelle and Nathan talked about what this would mean. This is going to be a lot of work, Rochelle said. Travel, long hours, building programs from scratch in multiple cities. We'll figure it out. We always do. The girls need stability. They have stability. They have us. They have this home. They have love and support. That doesn't change because you're doing important work. If anything, we're showing them what it means to use your blessings to help others. You're right. I just want to make sure we don't lose what we've built. Nathan pulled her close. We won't. We're solid. Our foundation is strong. This is just the next chapter of our story. Over the following months, Rochelle transitioned to part-time at DataCore and threw herself into building the National Center program. She traveled to each city, meeting with local leaders, identifying facility locations, hiring staff. Nathan traveled with her when possible, and when he couldn't, the girls stayed with LaToya or other trusted friends. It was exhausting but exhilarating. Everywhere Rochelle went, she met people who needed help, people who reminded her of who she used to be. Single parents working multiple jobs. Kids missing opportunities because of circumstances beyond their control. Families stuck in cycles they couldn't break alone. And now, because of what she and Nathan had started, these families would have resources, support, hope. By spring, all 10 centers were open and operating. The national organization threw a launch party in Washington, D.C., inviting press, politicians, and philanthropists. Rochelle was asked to give the keynote speech. Standing on stage in front of hundreds of people, she felt nervous but ready. 4 years ago, I was working 3 minimum wage jobs and facing eviction, she began. I was exhausted, desperate, and out of options. I couldn't see a way forward. All I could do was survive one day at a time and try to hide my struggle from my 6-year-old daughter. She paused, finding Nathan in the crowd. He smiled encouragingly. But my daughter, Amara, she still found joy. Every morning, she waved at a silver car that passed us on our walk to school. Just a simple wave. A gesture of innocence and hope. That wave caught the attention of the man driving that car, Nathan Pierce. And that wave changed everything. Rochelle went on to tell their story. The scholarship, the job opportunity, the relationship, the family they'd built. She talked about earning her success while having doors opened. She emphasized the importance of both, opportunity and effort. I worked hard. I earned my promotions and success. But I also had help. I had someone who believed in me. I had resources that removed barriers. I had support when I stumbled. That combination made all the difference. She looked out at the audience. The centers were opening recognized that reality. People in poverty aren't lazy or lacking in ambition. They're stuck in systems that make climbing out nearly impossible. These centers provide what I was given: opportunity, resources, and belief. Then it's up to each person to do the work. The room was silent, everyone listening intently. I don't tell my story because I'm special. I tell it because I'm not. I'm ordinary. I'm every single mother struggling to make ends meet. I'm every kid who's brilliant but can't afford the resources to shine. I'm every person who just needs one real chance to prove what they're capable of. Her voice grew stronger. And now, through these centers, thousands of families will get that chance. Not charity. Not handouts. Real opportunities to learn, grow, and build better lives. That's what the Rochelle Pierce Johnson Centers represent. That's what we're doing in 10 cities and hopefully many more to come. She finished to a standing ovation. People rushed up afterward to shake her hand, share their own stories, pledge support for expansion. The event was a massive success, generating national attention and securing funding for 10 additional cities. But the best part came later back at the hotel. Nathan had arranged for a small private celebration. LaToya had flown in, along with Michael Torres, Susan from DataCore, and several other important people from their journey. To Rochelle, Nathan toasted. From struggling single mother to national advocate. From survival to success to significance. I'm in awe of you. To Rochelle, everyone echoed. But Rochelle shook her head. No. To all of us. To everyone who believed in me, supported me, opened doors for me. To Nathan for seeing potential instead of poverty. To LaToya for being my friend when I had nothing to offer. To Michael for giving me a real chance. To Susan for letting me prove myself. To every person who extended kindness instead of judgment. This success belongs to all of us. Later that night in their hotel room, Nathan held Rochelle close. You were amazing today. That speech. The way you connected with people. You're a natural leader. I'm just telling the truth. Sharing what I lived. That's what makes it powerful. You're authentic. People feel that. Rochelle was quiet for a moment. Nathan, do you ever think about that morning? When I collapsed on my apartment floor, completely broken. I was so close to giving up. I'm glad you didn't. I'm glad Amara waved at your car. Such a small thing. Such a simple gesture. But it led to all of this. Small acts of joy can change the world. That's what she taught us. She did. And now we're teaching others. Showing them that better is possible. That help exists. That they're not alone. Nathan kissed her forehead. We're good together. You know that. I do. We make each other better. And we're making the world better. One family at a time. They fell asleep holding each other, content in the knowledge that their story had purpose. That their success meant something beyond personal gain. That their love had expanded to touch countless other lives. Back home, Sophie and Amara were having a sleepover at LaToya's. They lay in sleeping bags on the living room floor, talking in the dark. Do you remember when you used to wave at my dad's car? Sophie asked. Yeah. I didn't know it was your dad then. I just thought it was a pretty car. That wave changed everything. I know. Mama tells me that all the time. She says kindness and hope matter. My dad says the same thing. That's why they're perfect together. Amara smiled in the dark. I'm glad you're my sister, Sophie. I'm glad you're my sister too. Even if it's not official. It feels official. We're family. We are. Forever. The girls fell asleep, two children who'd been brought together by chance and circumstance, now bound by love and shared history. They would grow up as sisters, supporting each other through everything life threw at them. And they would always remember that their family started with a wave. 3 years later, summer. Nathan stood in his closet, adjusting his tie for the third time. He was nervous, more nervous than he'd been for any business deal or public appearance. Today was different. Today was personal. You look fine, Rochelle said, appearing in the doorway. She wore a beautiful cream-colored dress that made her look radiant. Stop fidgeting. I can't help it. This is important. I know. That's why it's going to be perfect. It had been 7 years since that first morning when Amara waved at Nathan's car. 7 years of growth, change, and building a life together. The Pierce Johnson Centers now operated in 35 cities. Rochelle's scholarship program had helped over 1,000 children. Their family had become a symbol of what was possible when opportunity met determination. Sophie was now 15, a confident young woman preparing for high school. She volunteered at the local center every week and talked about becoming a social worker someday. Amara was 11 and had just won a state math competition. She was brilliant, kind, and still carried that spark of joy that had changed everything. Today they were all going back to that corner. The place where it all began. The city had decided to dedicate a permanent memorial at the intersection, a bronze statue showing a little girl waving. A plaque would explain the story and invite others to wave their own dreams and hopes into existence. The ceremony was scheduled for 2 p.m. The whole neighborhood turned out, along with families from all the centers across the country. News crews were present to document the event. As they arrived, Nathan's stomach was in knots. He'd been planning something for months and today was the day. He just hoped Rochelle would say yes. The ceremony was beautiful. The mayor spoke about community and hope. Rochelle gave a short speech thanking everyone who'd supported their journey. Amara pulled the cover off the statue, revealing the bronze figure of herself at age 6, arm raised in a joyful wave. Everyone applauded. The statue was perfect, capturing that moment of innocence and possibility. This statue represents every child who dares to hope, the mayor said. Every person who chooses joy despite circumstances. Every act of kindness that ripples outward. May it inspire us all. After the official ceremony ended, Nathan asked everyone to stay for one more moment. 7 years ago, I drove past this corner and saw a little girl wave at my car, Nathan said, speaking into the microphone. I waved back, not knowing that simple exchange would change my entire life. That little girl led me to her mother, and that mother became my partner, my wife, my inspiration. He turned to Rochelle. You've accomplished so much. National director of a program serving thousands. Published author. Sought-after speaker. Role model to countless people. But to me you're simply the woman I love. The woman who showed me that true success isn't measured in dollars but in lives changed. Nathan got down on one knee. Rochelle gasped, confused. They were already married. What are you doing? She asked. From his pocket, Nathan pulled out a folded document. This is our marriage certificate from 2 years ago. It's been a good marriage. A strong marriage. But it's been a marriage of convenience in some ways. We got married quickly, caught up in the rush of new love and merging families. He unfolded the document. So today, in front of everyone who's been part of our journey, I want to renew our vows. I want to choose you again. Not because we have to, but because I want to. Every single day I choose you. Tears streamed down Rochelle's face. Nathan. I've asked Sophie and Amara to help me plan this, Nathan continued. The girls came forward, each holding a bouquet of flowers. Sophie spoke first. Rochelle, you're the best stepmother I could have asked for. You loved me when I was grieving and lost. You never tried to replace my mom, but you gave me a new kind of love. Today I want to officially say that I choose you too. As my mother. My inspiration. My family. Amara went next. Mama, you're my hero. You've always been my hero. But you taught me that heroes aren't people who don't need help. They're people who accept help and then use it to help others. I'm proud to be your daughter. Both girls handed their bouquets to Rochelle, who was crying too hard to speak. Nathan stood and took her hands. Rochelle Pierce Johnson, will you marry me again? Will you choose me again? Will you renew your commitment to building this life together? Yes, Rochelle managed to say. Yes, of course, yes. They kissed as the crowd erupted in applause. Latoya was crying. Michael Torres was grinning. The mayor looked touched. Hundreds of families they'd helped over the years stood witnessing this moment. A minister stepped forward, someone Nathan had arranged to be present. Then by the power vested in me, I renew your bonds of marriage. You may kiss your wife. Again. Everyone laughed as Nathan dipped Rochelle and kissed her dramatically. After the ceremony, the celebration continued at a nearby park. Food trucks provided meals. Live music played. Kids ran around laughing. It felt less like a formal event and more like a giant family reunion. Which, in a way, it was. This was their extended family. Everyone who'd been touched by their story, everyone who'd contributed to their journey, everyone who'd believed that better was possible. Nathan found Rochelle standing by the bronze statue, running her hand over the raised arm of the little girl waving. She was so small, Rochelle said. So innocent. She had no idea that waving at your car would lead to all of this. But she did it anyway. She chose joy. She chose hope. That's what changed everything. I wish I could tell that version of me, the one collapsing on the apartment floor, that help was coming. That everything would work out. That she just needed to hold on a little longer. Maybe that's why we do this work. To tell other versions of you that help is coming. That they just need to hold on. Rochelle turned to look at him. How did I get so lucky to find you? You didn't find me. Amara found me. Or maybe we found each other. Or maybe the universe just knew we were supposed to be together. I like that last one. They stood together, watching their daughters play with other children. Sophie was pushing Amara on a swing, both of them laughing. They were happy. Healthy. Love. Safe. Everything parents dream of for their children. We did it, Rochelle said. We really did it. We built something beautiful. We did. And we're not done. There's still so much more to do. More families to help. More kids to empower. More hope to spread. Together. Always together. As the sun began to set, the family gathered for photos in front of the statue. For people who'd become family through a combination of chance, choice, and commitment. Nathan looked at Rochelle, Sophie, and Amara, his heart full to bursting. He'd lost his first wife, his first chance at family. He'd grieved deeply. But he'd also learned that life offers second chances. New beginnings. Different kinds of love. Rochelle looked at Nathan and her daughters, overwhelmed with gratitude. She'd been at rock bottom, hopeless and desperate. But she'd survived. She'd accepted help when it was offered. She'd worked hard to build something new. And now she had everything she'd ever wanted and more. Sophie looked at her father and her stepmother and her sister, feeling complete. She'd lost her biological mother, and that loss would always hurt. But she'd gained a new family that honored her mother's memory while creating new joy. Amara looked at her parents and her sister, feeling blessed. She didn't remember much about those hard early years. What she remembered was the moment everything changed. The wife, the car, the man who would become her father. The life that unfolded from one simple gesture. As they posed for photos, Amara spontaneously raised her hand and waved at the camera, just like she used to wave at that silver car. Everyone laughed. It was perfect. A moment captured forever, showing how far they'd come and reminding them how it all began. Later, driving home in their car, a family SUV now, not the silver sedan, the girls fell asleep in the back seat, exhausted from the day's excitement. Best day ever, Rochelle said quietly. Agreed. But tomorrow will be pretty good too. And the day after that. You think so? I know so. Because we have each other. Because we have purpose. Because we know what matters. What matters? Nathan reached over and took her hand. Kindness, hope, love. Those three things. They lead the way. They always have. Rochelle squeezed his hand. They do. They really do. As they drove through the city, past streets and corners where other families were struggling, other children were hoping, other parents were trying their best, Rochelle sent out a silent wish. May everyone find what we found. May everyone discover that help exists. May everyone learn that one small gesture can change everything. May everyone know they're not alone. And somewhere, on a different corner in a different neighborhood, a little boy waved at a passing car, innocent and joyful and full of hope. Someone in that car saw the wave and wondered about the child's story. And maybe, just maybe, another miracle was about to begin. The end. This is the story of how one little girl's wave changed multiple lives forever. How one man's decision to help created ripples that spread across an entire country. How one woman's determination to survive became a roadmap for thousands of others. But more than that, it's a story about the power of small acts. The importance of noticing. The impact of kindness. The strength found in accepting help. The dignity in earning success. The responsibility that comes with blessing. And the truth that love, hope, and kindness really do lead the way. Sometimes the most amazing things start with the smallest gestures. A wave. A smile. A moment of attention given to someone the world overlooks. Never underestimate the power of small acts of joy. Never doubt that one person can make a difference. And never stop waving at the possibilities life offers, even when circumstances seem impossible. Because you never know which wave will change everything.